Okay, so what are the words? It's totally improv. We're not trying to create a hustle. We're just doing the Super Bowl shuffle. Is that how the song went?
We ain't here to start no trouble.
All right. We're just
here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. There you go.
Of course, that's the Chicago Bears, the Super Bowl shuffle from 1985.
Did you know they wrote that song and they actually produced it in week 8 and it was a #1 hit by week 10? Think about that. Do you know how many NFL teams couldn't stand them for that?
And the irony is in this day and age, and of course in 2020 with everything going on, and we'll go and say it, the pandemic, and we're going to talk about, right, the proposition bets. And one of the proposition bets, because they always say each year that it's the national anthem, right? That's the big one, is how long is it going to be, over or under 2 minutes? And of course, the Bucs have 2 people singing this year, so it's a duet. And the last time they had a duet was, I think it was in 2006, but it was Aaron Neville and Aretha Franklin. It went 2 minutes and 9 seconds. So with the 2 people singing the national anthem over at Raymond James Stadium for Super Bowl 55 on Sunday, that's one of the things. But what I want to work it to is there's actually a proposition to bet that says or asks what will be said first during the broadcast, COVID or pandemic. If you were betting on that, I mean, I know this is off the cuff here, but I mean,
you know what? I will gamble on 2 cockroaches running across the road. Okay, I have never. Let me repeat this. I have never bet on the national anthem.
No, that's pretty bad. And of course, because it's like the first bet, of course, and then the very last bet. What would your last proposition bet be? Do you know what that one is? There's a question, because I'm the one talking about the vigorish. See, I always say vig, but I know what the vig is. But
you are so white. I keep saying that. You are so white, the vigorish.
Everybody, welcome to a special Thursday night edition. This is actually the Harry the Greek Cup of Ray special Thursday night Super Bowl edition. We're coming at you live here from Seminole, Florida. We're so excited. The game's 72 hours out, or 24, 48, 96.
That's how many more wake-ups, right?
94 hours. I'm going to wake up, 2 times. I can't. Saturday night, I won't be able to sleep. I'm going to be so excited because Peter Blake and I are going to be over there at the Top Golf covering the David Ortiz Golf Challenge, which is raising money for charity. And it's a great charity. And you do a little research on this. And we're talking about the fact that this raises money for infants and children who can't afford to have medical procedures and stuff like that done. And David Ortiz has been doing this. Maybe you know a little more about it, Harry, than maybe I do.
What, the Big Poppy?
The Big Poppy.
The Big Poppy. All I know, it's going to be for some great charities. And I think they're hoping on raising at least $200,000.
Yeah.
And there's going to be all kinds of celebrities out there. And I don't really know too much about it. I'm kind of envious that both you and the great Peter Blake are going to be there.
Wait, that's right. Didn't Bucks report we're going to be there as credentialed media covering it for you guys. And then we're going to talk to you about it on Sunday morning in our pregame show when we come on you first of the day down at the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla del Sol. And look who's here now. There's our partner there.
Look, what's up, brother? Actually, come right into the middle.
Come on in. Come on in here a second.
This is my brother. I want you to tell these people out there exactly what's going to be happening.
Well, what's going to be happening is, I don't want to take away from Ray, but we're going to be going out to the super celebrity shootout at Top Golf with celebrities like Big Poppy David Ortiz, Titus Young, Brad Johnson, Super Bowl winning quarterback Mike Alstott will be out there on the red carpet as credentialed media. So keep it right here on Bucks Report, because we will have possibly some live interviews talking about some great causes that David Ortiz, the Chris Godwin Foundation is putting together on Super Bowl Eve. And then, of course, don't forget to tune into the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here live Sunday, 2:30, getting you ready. Super Bowl 55 between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Kansas City Chiefs. Yours truly, Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. Best of the Bay right there, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Hey. So without further ado, I'm not going to take up all this time. I'm going to let these guys do it. I'm going to do my job here, be a producer, and make sure everything goes right. Guys, keep on tuning in to Bucks Report, your best Bucks source.
Come on, let's just give them the 3 things, and you hit it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Thursday night. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. All right, I'm done.
That was really good. Listen, we're going to entertain all comments, and if you want to make a phone call, go ahead and call into the show. Have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer it. It's right at the bottom of the screen.
So that's
dial 727-320-5866.
That's how you know you've arrived, when Mr. Peter Blake is producing your show.
That's it, bro. Hey. Hang on.
Hey, so anyway, something I was reading about today, so we're going to be all over the place tonight. So excited. The fact that career record for Patrick Mahomes, 44-9. Okay.
Seriously.
44-9 over the last 3 years. Of the 9 losses that Patrick Mahomes has lost as a member of the Chiefs, do you realize that 8 of the games had a running back who was over 113 yards or more?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Ray.
Why are you glad I brought that up, Mr.
Because
Harry?
guess what kind of wagers we're going to talk about?
We're going to talk about proposition bets.
Correct. Proposition bets, not proposition prostitutes, Ray.
That's over in
The
Nebraska.
bets.
Now
That's
we already
over in
talked about that
Nebraska,
on
okay.
Sunday. Yeah, we're good.
Would you believe me if I told you, and any people that just like to throw a few dollars around, the over and under on Ronald Jones total yardage in the game for rushing is 36.5.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, think about that.
And he's healthy. I mean, he's coming back. The guy's gotten over the finger issue. He's back now. He's had 2 more weeks to get right. Of course, he doesn't test but in the COVID protocol program now. We're going to Super Bowl 55 and Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, the victim,
no,
the
no,
victim
no,
of volume is going to be ready for that. Go ahead, you do it.
No.
There we go.
That's okay. My producer screwed it up over there. Would you please hit it now? The victim of volume. 36 and a half yards, man. This is just unreal. 36 and a half yards. And get this, 50 yards for Leonard Fournette. So combined yardage between the 2 running backs, they're talking less than 100 yards. And you ready for one even better?
Right, Zach.
Now, the victim of volume, he's known not to really catch that many passes out of the backfield.
Right.
But how can you pass up a wager of only 10 and a half yards? I want you to think about that. Put that in. That's one catch.
Rojo, 10.5 yards receiving.
10 and a half yards receiving.
Well, I know one of the ones that I definitely also are interested in, and of course, this is going against the grain as far as Buccaneer fans are concerned, and that is the one with Patrick Mahomes and the over-under for him to have just one rush of 10 yards or more.
You see, I don't really get involved in too many of those. I mean, I'm more of the serious handicapper. I like to bet the coin toss. Get it?
And then
I'm only kidding.
and the Gatorade.
Yeah, and the Gatorade. I mean, what color are they going to drink? Red, white,
You know,
blue? It's
and they
almost like
say
talking
this.
about a wine.
They
you
said
know?
today there's always suckers that put money on red, but I think red Gatorade getting dumped is just not a good look. You know, and in fact, I think what they dumped on Andy Reid there after the Chiefs won and beat the Buffalo Bills to secure that the AFC side of the Super Bowl, and of course now they're going to be here in Tampa on Sunday playing against your Buccaneers. But I like to use that confetti. But I'm thinking when you're at the big show and you're in Florida and it's in the 60s and you've got weather, it's not like it is out in Kansas City. You go the full McGilla and you make it Gatorade. And I'm going to go right now on a limb and say it's going to be orange for that Buccaneer victory with the Gatorade over Bruce Arians on Sunday night. Orange.
That's all you got.
Aren't you glad I said that?
Oh, my Lord. Let's go out to some of the comments really quick here. We have Yaj. I can't pronounce your last name. I'm really sorry about this. Says, let's go Bucks.
Go
Yaj
Bucks.
again is going to actually, he wrote something else here. Just finished packing my suitcase. Plane leave at 7 a.m. Can't wait to come home. Let's go Bucks. Yaj, where are you from?
No, he's actually originally from the Bay Area, I believe, but he said he was going to be here. And I think he was on social media this week asking about where they're going to go, where they're going to actually. Oh, we got someone in the lobby, but I think he said he was going to be in town. He wanted to know out places to come. And I think Peter actually responded back to him and said, come out to the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla del Sol, where your Bucks report will have all of your game day festivities.
Christopher Cole says, is that event free today to the public or what? No, I don't believe it was free. I think you had to be credentials and actually get in there. There's going to be a lot of celebrities there, but I do not believe it was free.
They projected it was going to sell out. I think they
Right.
had there's special packages for groups like, 5,000, 25,000. There was a special VIP package that included like a limousine there. And you're going to be, what they do is they're going to have people in the pits or on all the tees at Top Golf and the parties, and each party is going to have a celebrity, but again, socially distanced and responsible. But you're going to get to meet baseball legends and NFL legends. I think they've had in the past. Ja Rule was at one of them. I mean,
Ja Rule's going to be there.
well, I don't know if he's going to be there this time, but I wouldn't rule it out. What I'm saying is because it's the Super Bowl, it's the biggest party in the world, and again, socially responsible. Maintaining some distance, but checking in and being able to meet these people. We never said COVID was a life sentence to be locked inside. What we said is we've got to do it right, and maintain those social norms, be able to get socially responsible, maintain distance, and use a clear head. And I think that even you got it with the Super Bowl in town, you got to let your freak flag fly just a little bit.
My God, you keep doing that.
I love that.
You know what? I'm going to bring one of the old OGs here. from the from Bucks Reports
The
around here.
OG.
He's got someone sitting around. He's one of the web heads out there from Peter Blake. He absolutely loves them.
Let's do it.
Let's welcome to the stream, Mr. Johnny Dean. How you doing, Johnny?
The professor.
How's it going, guys?
Johnny, good.
I want to chime in on the Rojo stat.
Go
what
ahead.
you got, Johnny?
His career receiving yards, his average is 5.3. He's got 137-yard pass reception and 110-yard reception. That's it. That's his two longest ones.
But Johnny, how can it be 10.5 yards? I mean, I understand it's like a
I get that. Why 10 yards? Because they estimate that he'll sit down on a first down maybe and get the half by falling down on the half yard. I don't know.
Hey, I'm going to say it right now. I was after the Saints game when the Bucks just got the second time when the Bucks just got waxed because they were going 3 and out. And JD, you and I talked about this ad nauseum, and we said they've got to get a running game. We've got to maintain a running game. And of course, I point out again in the opening there of the 9 losses in Patrick Holmes' career, he's only had 9 complete losses in 3 seasons now, almost 3 full seasons as a starting quarterback in Kansas City. 8 of those losses, the other team had over 113 yards or more rushing. And I'm not saying it's not going to be Fournette and Rojo, but after we lost to the Saints the second time this season, we were so mad that the Bucks were just, it was no risk it, no biscuit, the passing first philosophy. But hey, it worked and it got us to the Super Bowl. But I still think that if you're trying to go against the trend, you put Rojo in the backfield, you run the ball, you put Rojo in the backfield, you pass it to him out of the backfield, then you bring Leonard Fournette in on a passing situation and you rush him, and it keeps Kansas City on their heels.
What trend are you talking about, man?
Just against the norms. Because I mean, if we just go in there,
well, you have to practice those during the week. You have to install that into your playbook, man. You can't just take a cold duck out there and tell them to do this or this and just expect success, man. You have to have it pre-planned and walk through.
right?
So it's not like, oh man, they should be doing this and that. But if they haven't practiced it or they all have it in their playbook at that time, then it's not that easy. You just can't do it like that, man.
Well, I just don't think Leonard. I don't think Shady McCoy sees the field. I mean,
I don't
maybe.
think Shady McCoy needs to see the field. After that stunt he pulled on in Washington, forget it. Why? They've gotten there without him. Johnny, you got to agree with me on that. I mean, we don't agree all the time, but seriously.
I think Shady's been standing in the shade all year, so yeah.
That's exactly what I think. Hey, Johnny, I got a question for you. You ready? The total rushing yards by both teams combined, between the quarterback, the running back, and whoever they give the ball to, both teams, over and under, what do you think it is?
Over and under, give me a over and under.
185.5.
For both teams, rushing
both
total?
teams combined.
Combined? Oh,
Combined.
for this game. Okay, I got you.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'll go. Oh man, that's right on it, dude. Yeah.
I'm gonna break it down even further.
Combined, I'll go over because
you're gonna go over. Okay,
yeah.
So the total rushing yards by the Kansas City Chiefs are exactly 95.5 points. Over, you got to lay 125 to 100. Under is minus 105. Here's the better one for you. Tampa Bay, our Buccaneers, combined 87.5 yards. If you go over on that, you ready? It's even money. They don't think this Tampa team's going to run the ball at all.
I don't. They don't have to run it a lot to get the yardage. I mean, you saw Fournette. Fournette got 44 yards on a couple of carries, man. So yeah, I'll go. I'll do it in a heartbeat. I'll go over.
Now, if I told you that the victim of volume is 36.5 yards, what do you like there?
Passing or run?
Rushing the football. 36.5 yards is his projected total in this game.
I would honestly and I'm not being a homer here, JD. Maybe you agree with me. I would bet the over on 36 just in the first half, maybe the first quarter. And it's not because I think that all. Are
you concerned at all who's chasing him down?
I'm concerned that if Spagnuolo gets Tom Brady hearing footsteps in that first half and he goes to shit,
I ain't worried about that at all.
Well, I'm just saying that I'm thinking that Patrick Mahomes has lost 8 of 9 times when the other team has over 100 yards rushing, and we've got a great rushing game, and this offensive line is ready to get downfield and do some road grading. if that's what it takes to win a Super Bowl, to keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, that's how you used to beat the San Francisco 49ers in that West Coast offense back in the day. And really, isn't the Andy Reid offense just a hybrid of the old West Coast style offense?
That's exactly what it is.
Where's the matchups, though, Ray? I mean,
No,
I don't see them getting to Tom Brady. I just don't see it. No, Chris Jones is a great player, but he can't do it by himself, man.
Well, they got to him in the first game, JD.
That's why I'm saying, if you really think about this is where I want to keep hitting this narrative. It's 36.5 yards. I've never seen a total from 1,000-yard rusher. I'm sorry, just shy of 1,000 yards ever in a game with a mid to lower tier defense front stopping the run.
I think that's skewed. I think that's skewed to how many times they think he's going to play.
I think you're right, JD. I think they believe that
he's playing here, bro. I'm announcing it right now.
I said Ronald Jones, he's going to play.
I'm going to announce right now. Right now. The victim of volume.
Oh, you're talking about Leonard Fournette?
MVP of the Super Bowl. He will be the MVP of this Super Bowl. Rojo.
Now, I'm the one that predicted that. I told you I had.
Yeah, but I had to take your thunder.
I'm glad you did. I had a dream last night, JD. I had a dream that Rojo picks up the hardware on Sunday night as a Super Bowl MVP. And I know people are going to say that's crazy, but I mean, you're talking about a healthy guy coming back to speed out of USC. You get him to the second level, and you're talking about Rojo going for $1.25, 2 touchdowns, maybe 5 receptions for like 60 yards. Am I that crazy to think that
36.5 yards?
It's not usually the guy you see all game long that gets the MVP of the game. It's usually the guy with the most outstanding single play in the game.
That's usually true. Hey, get this, Johnny. You can bet the first pass for Patrick Mahomes. Is it a completion or an incompletion? Get this. You got to lay 2-1 to win 100. So if you would bet 100, you got to lay 200 to win 100 if he completes it. But it's almost 2-1 if he throws an incompletion. If you bet,
that's where the money would be.
Yep. I mean, they're trying to bait you into this. I mean, there's.
Wait a minute.
I am not kidding.
Did you say that the money they're taking you to say that the first reception they're saying his first reception is going to definitely be a completion?
Yeah,
or
that's how much money has been bet. You have to lay 2-1 on your money.
I
like the odds. I hope they open it up with a pass. I'm actually going to put money on this that he doesn't complete his first pass.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're giving you 2-1 on your money on a straight wager,
you'd have to take that.
You have to take something. I mean, it's not going to be everything. It's a 50-50 shot. Is he going to complete it? You know what I'm saying?
How about the fact that 2.5? Does anyone know what 2.5 is? 2.5 is the line on the touchdowns that they say Patrick Mahomes will throw. 2.5 touchdowns.
Yeah, but get this. Tom Brady's over and under is 1.5. And if you go over, you got to lay 3-1, which is absolutely insane. But Johnny, I'm going to get a lot of people excited with this, especially you, Ray.
Yeah.
And Peter, I know, is listening, right? Sitting off to our shoulder.
He's right here, our producer.
If you bet that Tom Brady will throw over 3.5 touchdowns,
right,
you will get almost 4-1 on your money.
Is that the vigorish? Right. That's the vigorish, right? That's what
the vig is what you owe them.
Is there a line on if Tyler Johnson is the MVP?
That would be, you know what? That is a great question. You know, talking about questions, if anybody has a question for either Tampa Bay Ray or myself, Harry the Greek, please give us a call. 727-320-5866. That's 727-320-5866. Hold on, Johnny. We're going to read one of the comments. As a fan in the 80s and 90s, I never would have thought the Bucs would make it to the Super Bowl. Now we're in it again at home. I mean, think about that. They're at home.
Yeah, we've been to 4 NFC championship games. We've won 2. We're in our second Super Bowl. There are still some teams that have never won their divisional championship, and or let alone Carolina Panthers, Jacksonville Jaguars, to ever been to the Super Bowl, and we're going to our second one. So, you know, that 0-26, the futile team from Tampa Bay that just could not do anything to get out of their own way, suddenly that's not us anymore. But it'll always be us because that was our history, right, Johnny Dean?
That's right. Hey, Ray, you'll like this.
Yes,
Isn't
sir.
it fitting that was the Saints we beat in the divisional round to send us off to the Super Bowl? I mean, the first team we win against is the Saints. We have the division. We have the first Super Bowl in the division, and now the Saints, praise God, give us this chance to go to the Super Bowl again. Thank you, Saints.
And Johnny, you know what's sweet about that was in 2002, Thanksgiving weekend, my wife and I go to her family's house. We have a huge dinner, Harry the Greek. big Thanksgiving dinner. That Thursday night, we get right on the road. After that dinner, we head straight up north, 275. We make a left on I-10, heading right toward New Orleans. We hit snow right around Pensacola area. We get snow all the way in New Orleans because we had tickets to that first. That was the first time the Bucs played at New Orleans as the NFC South divisional opponent. So we went there, and it was a great Sunday night game, and we partied on Bourbon Street. We stayed at a beautiful B&B at the very end of Bourbon Street. A nice gay couple owned it. Yeah, I'm going to say that. There were a couple of nice guys. Had a beautiful 200-year-old house. It was built right where Thomas Jefferson had slept once. And
who are you kidding? I love the scenery, especially going down Bourbon Street, baby.
It's good stuff.
I got a real quick story, and you can finish yours. The last time I was there, I was with a buddy of mine named Stan. We were playing in a big poker tournament for the WPT.
Were you playing over at the casino?
Over at the casino,
Right.
over at the Harrah's. So I got knocked out on day one. It wasn't a really good day, and I decided I wanted to go get something to eat, and I was going to have a drink with my buddy. We're walking down Bourbon Street, and I mean, it was jammed. So I'm walking by the nudie bar, and who is sitting up on the platform?
The Pope.
No, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. He's got his chalice out, and if anybody has ever seen him, he's got the rings going through, and he's got 2 or 3 girls around him, and
That's awesome.
he's playing around, and he's throwing out beads. And let me tell you something, that was a show.
And that's Snoop Dogg being involved with this year's Pro Bowl, and the fact that we love, you know how much Snoop Dogg loves football and how much he knows, and how, in fact,
For shizzle.
for shizzle, is it even a doubt that Snoop Dogg's in town right now and/or arriving within the next day or two for Super Bowl 55? I guarantee you, we see Snoop Dogg at some point this weekend if we haven't seen him already. Maybe he shows up at the TikTok concert put on by Miley Cyrus for the 7,000 healthcare workers.
Hell no, you ain't getting him out of 2001 Odyssey for real. For
shizzle,
real, brother.
For shizzle.
For shizzle. Anyway, going back to the gambling aspect of something I really wanted to touch base on, because I'm really surprised no one's called, because this is pretty exciting. Over and under attempts for Tom Brady throwing passes. How many, Ray?
Oh, over under for Tom Brady throwing attempts. I'm going to say
40.
22.
Okay. How about completions?
18.
Man,
Johnny?
I think Ray's way under, man.
He is under on that.
Really?
Johnny?
Yeah, I think around 40 attempts, and
Ooh.
let's give him a good game and have it 32.
Okay,
Nice.
then you're going to like the over. It's 25.5.
So I was close on the over, but what was on the completions?
37.
So 37 attempts, 22 and a half completions. Or
How about
25.
passing yards? Johnny, you're next.
Oh, man, I can see this going either way. I
Come on.
I can see it going either way. I really need to look something up first before, and it's not has to do with Brady at all. I want to look up something on Brad Johnson first.
Huh?
I expect this game to go a lot like the game in 2002.
It's not even close,
And
Professor.
What was Brad Johnson's passing completion? He
Greg?
had a good game. He had a good game that day.
I'm going to say he was, I'm going to guess here, JD, and say he was 21 of 30 for about 290 yards.
I think it was his
and 2
best
touchdowns.
statistical game he ever had.
I'm going to say 21 of 30. You look it up, JD.
Did you say testicle?
Is it after 10 o'clock?
It's almost. Hey, you cursed earlier. I didn't do it.
Oh, well, I was making a point.
The dude is coming after you.
The dude abides.
The dude. Dude, did you hear that?
He abides a lot.
Dude abides.
Yeah, he never buys dinner. Just kidding.
Hey, I still want my buck. Okay, that's for the tolls. Got to have my buck.
Oh, the toll. In fact, for tonight, me being on a show with you tonight, by the way, thanks for having me, brother.
Absolutely,
But I'm
brother.
gonna-
That's why I named it after you.
I'm gonna have to travel you. I'm gonna have to charge you a travel stipend.
A travel
Well, because I
stipend?
walked, 8
You
feet
had
across
to
the
walk
street.
8 feet from your house. Drink your beer. Eat some food.
That's not beer. It's
Opa.
Opa.
There you go. All right, let's get out some more of these proposition bets. And by the way, if anybody's interested, the total points have not changed all week. It's
56
still
and a half, right?
56 and a half. And if you do like the Bucks in this game and you can get the 3.5 points, you lay no juice. So it's even money, which is really a steal. That's going to end up going down to 3 points.
So let me ask you, Harry, can I ask you a question? Because
Sure.
some people out here watching, guys and girls, you may not, you're like me. You don't know exactly and I've been learning a little bit as the seasons went on, working alongside here with Harry the Greek. So going back to the Patrick Mahomes, 2.5 touchdowns, the over and under. If you bet the over on that, it was plus 130. But if you bet the under, it's minus 130. What does that mean when it says plus 130 if you bet the over? Obviously, they expect him to go over. So plus 130.
Well, that's a good question, right? And I can answer it really quick. And I think Johnny might even want to jump in on this one. When it says minus 130,
right,
that means they're taking a lot of money on that particular wager, on that particular, whether it's over or under.
right.
So they're going to try to lure you away from it and entice you on not laying the juice, and they're trying to get you to bet the other way. You see, what happens is they try to equal out their bets.
Yeah.
Okay, because either way, the house always wins.
Yes.
As we know. And hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
This one will get you excited. Your boy, Mike Evans. Over or under, how many total completions?
Oh, completed passes?
Yep.
Oh, God.
These things are ridiculous, bro. Well, when Peter hears this, he's going to jump over the camera at me.
Peter, did you say Mike Westcott's going to be Saturday night?
I'm going to give you 12 completed
12
passes.
completions, Ray. How many?
For what again?
How many completions Mike Evans is going to complete?
Oh,
That's high. I know I was high.
7.
7. How about it, Peter? You? How many completions? I can relay it. 8. Okay. Now, how about this, guys, and everybody out there that's
Vegas
listening?
is
You ready?
outline it.
Vegas has this at 4.5 total receptions. Now, I got a question for you out there. Who the hell is going to cover this guy?
Hey, that was a curse word. That was a curse word.
No, hell is not a curse word.
Well, I mean, if you're, the devil lives in hell. But
Listen, okay, slap my hand there, big boy.
So, Johnny, okay, so we're going to keep talking lines here, but I want to ask.
4.5. Hold on. You don't understand. My mind is not computing this.
No, that's crazy.
It's 4.5 receptions. This is arguably, according to Tyreek Hill, the best receiver in football. You remember that the last time they played?
I love it. And I like that. Tyreek Hill. I tell you what, you can say what you want about Tyreek there or anybody out there, the cheetah, but he is a student of the game. And, we saw that when the last time the Chiefs were here at Raymond James Stadium. Of course, they win by 3, 27-24. Was it 27-24 or 37-34?
Who remembers they lost? No big deal.
I got to answer that question you were asking me now.
Go ahead, sir. What was it?
All right. Brad Johnson was averaging around 220 to 240 a game. That's his average, and during the Super Bowl run. So I'm gonna say between 250 and 300 for Brady for this game.
So what was? Do you have Brad Johnson's completions and attempts in that game, Johnny?
I do. Let me look at them.
All you had to do,
in that particular game,
all you had to do was act the walk. I just text the walking savant. His name is Peter Blake, and he would have told you how tall he was, what his hair looked like that day, how many yards he had, how many completions, how many attempts, and if he dated someone that night and what he had for breakfast.
He had a 62% overall completion rating that whole year for the year, including the playoffs.
Wow, that's pretty strong.
Playoffs?
That's right, baby. They're in the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
I don't think we have one for that.
So what about the Tyler Johnson thing? Come on, man.
I don't have anything for Tyler Johnson yet, but you know what? We're going to go back to the comments.
Let me ask you this, though, real quick.
Go ahead.
Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller. Who has more receptions?
Antonio Brown.
Right?
AB all day long.
You want to feed AB, keep him happy. AB got a $750,000 bonus, Johnny, for the Bucs making the Super Bowl.
Is he coming out to the deck after the game? Because the wings are on him.
Yeah, he's
Did you see Brady's bonus money?
No, I didn't know Brady. I thought it was just 25 straight up for both years. What's his bonus money for making?
He had. I'd have to go look it back up, but it's posted somewhere. I think the dude has that stat.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's not enough. And I love what Robert Kraft does today. Basically, he's interviewed he'll be appearing with Jane Pauley on CBS Sunday Morning, which is one of my favorite shows. I mean, it's the only show on my VCR. Well, of course, this week I've been taping everything on the NFL Network, all of your Super Bowl coverage, all of your NFL access, but I tape it every week. And Robert Kraft goes on there and he basically says, yeah, I'm rooting for Tom to win. I want him to win. The relationship he had here to Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots.
That came out today. I saw that.
I wrote an article about it.
Something that's one classy.
That's what I love.
Classy owner,
and he likes the Asian ranch. So So I was conflicted. Look, I'm just saying I was conflicted because I wrote the article and I'm writing the article and I'm like, I've always liked Robert Kraft. I like that.
Will you get him? Will you sit down and shut up?
It's like we're at the Odyssey. So Robert Kraft's first quarterback was Drew Bledsoe, and he was his guy, and he signed $110 million. And then Tom Brady comes in as a 6th round, 198th overall. And Belichick fights him, and Robert Kraft was sticking up for Bledsoe. But of course, in hindsight, 20 years later, 2020 hindsight, it was the best move for the Patriots. I just like the fact that Robert Kraft, and of course,
Harry,
let me ask
Harry, Rick H just put in the chat how much Brady gets in bonus money.
Oh, go ahead. He's in your comments. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're going to go to the comments now anyway. Thank you. Chris
Sorry,
Williams.
Ray. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt like that.
No,
That's
you're
okay.
all, Johnny. The professor can always interrupt the student.
Hey, he's used to it. Chris Williams. They didn't have Ali Marpet or Vita for the first game. For the first game.
Mhm.
That's true. I do remember that. That's going to be a significant difference. I don't know if it's going to be more of a difference with Ali Marpet because I'm going to tell you why.
We also
He's
had
a great player. I'm not taking anything away from him, but they did a really, really good job with that offensive line when Marpet wasn't playing. The biggest difference, and again, I come to you guys humbly and say I was wrong about Vita Vea. Okay, that hurt. You have to understand that hurt. Johnny can appreciate that if anybody. The guy's just playing unbelievable. Good point, Chris.
Also, the rotation, Stinney added to that rotation just makes it that much stronger.
Absolutely. Sean Singleton would like to see defensive touchdowns. You know what? You just might actually see them because I'm going to tell you what, Ray.
JPP?
No. I'm not going to actually name somebody that's going to get a defensive touchdown.
Right.
But I have a funny feeling, and you're going to hear it now. Look in your proposition bets and see the total. Will he throw an interception? Yes. I think he's going to throw multiple interceptions in this game. If they get Mahomes to roll out of the pocket, on the uncomfortable side, meaning I don't think the guy knows. Wait a minute. The guy doesn't even know what the left hash mark is.
The guy likes to go more. He likes to go.
Always rolls to the right.
He goes right more than Donald Trump.
But when he does roll to the right, it does shorten the field for him, and he likes to throw across his body.
My producer has a problem with that last statement.
Not this week. Yes, we'd all like to see some defensive touchdowns. Rick H says, or Jamil Dean. Yeah. And my boy, Mr. You Can Ben Israel. I just bet $1 on the Bucks. You know what?
There you go.
I thought we were boys. You
as long as you have some skin in the game.
That's right.
That's a little bit of skin in the game.
Rick H says 27-24, but he didn't say who's winning the game, so that doesn't count.
27-24 was it the first score?
Oh,
the first
that's
time around.
right. That was the first time around.
Which again, guys, Tyreek Hill has 1,000 yards receiving and 17 touchdowns in the first quarter. If the Buccaneers defense starts to go more to a man on man, but a 2-over, playing them deep, letting them have everything in front, bend but don't break, which I see again this week, Johnny. You have to take one or two of your receivers, Kelsey, and also you have Sammy Watkins come. Is it Watkins?
Yeah, Sammy Watkins actually started playing again.
He's going to be healthy. So you've got him as well as Tyreek Hill. The Bucs are going to have to play. They're going to have to hit some guys off the line to disrupt those routes because you got Vita Vea blowing up the middle, and you got JPP and Shaq wanting to feed on him like he's some fresh meat, and there are a couple of sharks, and it's Shark Week. But you got to knock some receivers off their routes because, Patrick Mahomes, if he gets out to the right, he knows where his receivers are going to be.
I don't know. Let's get back to the comments.
I'm all right. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Johnny. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
you
as long as they,
us.
as long as they go with two over the top, with two safeties over the top, like they did the last 3 quarters of that game, I'm not worried about the receivers.
I agree, but they're gonna have to play some press coverage though. They can play press zone. Don't play press man. They're gonna have to play some press zone because I'm gonna tell you right now. If they get a pass rush, John, and they start to disrupt some of the timing, especially with Tyreek Hill, then it becomes like a free-for-all. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, or whoever it is. Once you disrupt that timing and you get that quarterback on the move.
Did you watch the last game? They did most of those rushes with a 4-man rush.
Yes, they did.
We could play time package if we wanted to, and that offensive line is nowhere near as strong as Green Bay's was.
And the moment you go to man on man or man coverage, that's going back. I'm glad you made the Joe Montana reference. It's going back to the West Coast style offense, which is what Andy Reid's offense basically is. You go man to man. The moment you put your defenders in a man to man coverage scheme, You are playing into the hands of this offense because what they basically do for all those short underneath routes, they run pick plays the entire time. Their entire short offensive passing system is predicated upon pick plays. And you put your defenders up too close in man coverage and they're watching their man, they're going to get picked and sliced, and they're going to leave guys open. You're going to have Tyreek Hill or others, Sammy Watkins, going for 50 yards on a screen pass. So I like the bend but don't break, and that's why I've been using that a lot in the last couple of weeks.
Kansas
bend
City's
but
gonna
don't
get
break.
Kansas City's going to get a ton of yards in this game. They're going to put up some points, but it's not going to be the same first quarter that you've seen in that last game.
You know why? Because you're going to keep them in front of you and not let them behind you.
But they're also going to
What's
play a
the
little bit of press.
Right, Harry, what's the prop bet on Tyreek Hill get over 100 yards?
I can't. I'm gonna. You know what? I am going to give that out here in just a little bit. Let me go ahead and get.
Is that a
through some of
vig?
these. No, that's not a vig.
That's not vig.
Johnny, he is so white.
I don't know what a big is.
I swear, he doesn't know what he. Never mind. Anyway, Rick H. The Bucks outscored the Chiefs 24-10 in the final three quarters. Yeah, it's a good point. That's exactly what had happened.
Right.
That's because Tampa didn't want to run the ball in the first half, and especially in the first quarter, how many 3 and outs did they have? I should ask the.
I'm going to disagree with that big time because when they started stopping them is when they went to 2-man over the top, 2 safeties over the top. They originally started the game out with 1 high safety. Okay, they dropped back into 2 high safety and shut them down. That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
But the Bucks also got the rushing game going because you started limiting the amount of chances that Patrick Mahomes.
We also limited Kelsey because of our linebackers. So
yeah, Kelsey had I think 27 yards receiving in that first game, and I'm just going off the cuff here, but I'm pretty sure that's what he had.
You know what?
3 receptions, 27 yards.
I don't know what the over and under is for Kelsey, and I'm not trying to sound like a homer, but I'm kind of being like a homer. I mean, you guys have really. Injected me with this Buck fever.
You're officially.
We're rubbing off on Harry. All right.
You are rubbing off on me. But anyway, with Travis Kelsey, I don't know what the over and under is yet. I'm going to find out here very soon. But I'm probably going to be something insane. And I don't think Kelsey's going to have that big of a game, primarily because, and this is the point that I was making on the sports web with Peter Blake, is when you're missing a couple of offensive linemen, especially Fisher, who's protecting his blind side, that is going to force a lot of 2 tight end sets. It's going to force Kelsey to do a lot more blocking. And you could forget about sitting in the flats because the linebackers are going to eat his lunch up.
I did it.
He did it. He actually did it.
Woo.
No, but seriously, you can bet the under.
They're going to rely more on Bell and Hilaire to take up Kelsey's slack, I believe. I agree with you there, Harry.
Well, see, I think a great defensive coordinator, which Todd Bowles is a great defensive coordinator. Again, I'm so glad because I'll be honest with you guys, when I saw the job he's done with his Buccaneers defense in the last 2 years, and especially this year, of course, he had a lot of tools in the toolkit because Jason Lights built this team to such. But the fact that he doesn't get consideration and/or even a good interview and of course we take it over to Eric Bieniemy as well, the offensive coordinator for those Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
And we could go on. We could do a whole show about that. But I thought we were going to lose Bowles, and I think that Bowles doesn't.
Not Bowles.
Bowles.
Okay. Bowles.
I think he still lets Tyreek get off. He still lets Tyreek get, because if you remember,
we're talking about balls in bowls, and now we're talking about getting off. Come on, Ray.
I do take
Ray couldn't have planned that any better, man.
I mean, you were thinking the same thing. You know what? We're going to cut it right there. We're going to the next comment.
I'm stiff.
You quiet.
Can I say one thing here for your producer there? This is for your producer there.
What's for my producer?
I want everybody to know that Peter H. Blake is the bomb, dude.
He is the bomb.
I can't say that.
He not only can the guy make a show single-handedly and carry it, he can come on somebody else's show and produce it with the highest quality. It's great.
I appreciate the comment. I appreciate the compliment because you know what? He really does a great job. But you know what? The food over here is pretty damn good too, isn't it, Ray?
Your food is great. But you know what? I also want to give props to Mr. Peter H. Blake because I swear to God, and I said this when we won the NFC, we beat those Packers to get to Super Bowl 55. Peter said from the moment Tom Brady signed, they were doing his his physical in New York, couldn't even get here because of COVID and the fact that you couldn't travel. And he said that Tom Brady becomes a Buccaneer quarterback at Super Bowl or bust.
He did say that. And you know what? That Super Bowl or bust, he started it.
Basically,
plain and simple.
Just like victim of volume.
No, it's victim of volume.
What is it? What is it?
The victim.
of volume. Who's going to have MVP performance Sunday against those Kansas City Chiefs?
You know what? I'm telling you, man. You get yourself a new little toy.
Are we talking? We back to talking about?
Oh, I'm going to go back to the comments.
I've been playing.
Will
with
you
it
be quiet?
Okay,
Just like he says.
Is it 10 o'clock? Yeah.
No, it's not 10 o'clock.
Okay, I'll
yet.
keep it clean.
Sean Singleton, I'm happy for AB. I think everybody's happy for AB.
But are
And-
we though?
Yes,
Because
we are.
SI.com, and I'm not. Hey
You
guys,
know what? I wasn't an AB fan. And
SI.com.
I've turned into an Antonio Brown fan. Another time I was, wrong.
Jesus, you said it twice in one night.
I know. Rick H, $5 million total if he wins the Super Bowl. I believe he was talking about Tom Brady.
Is that the wow? Is that what you were saying, Johnny? Where he dropped in that comment that's his. So that's going to be 750,000 for AB, a $5 million bonus for Tom Brady. So we're just continuing to take away from that Chris Godwin money. I read today there's a good prediction. They said that Chris Godwin's going to get franchised next year, and that would cost the Bucs about $16 million. That's something else Peter Blake has said all along as well. What do you think, Johnny?
I was dealing with some technical issues. What was your question there, Ray?
I said, what do you think about Chris Godwin? I read today that there's a most of the people in the know believe that the Buccaneers are going to probably franchise him, of course, unless for some reason he signs for less
I
than that.
do not believe he's going to get franchised. I'm sorry.
No?
No, I don't see that happening. It's cost too much money to franchise him. He's either going to take a team friendly contract or he will go somewhere else and he'll be a number one somewhere else because
I hope he has a big game. I hope
yeah.
he has a big game because he just played his last game as a Buccaneer, in my opinion.
If Chris Godwin has
I agree.
If Chris Godwin has a big game and AB has a big game, then you got to start thinking about those receptions for Mr. Mike
AB's
Evans.
already said he wants to come back and he'll take that team friendly contract. It's Chris Godwin's time. This is when they're supposed to make their money. This is when he goes out and balls out and he shows the league what he can do, and he will be up for a big contract.
You don't blame him, do you, Johnny?
No, not
if he does
bit,
leave
man.
and he gets paid, you don't blame the guy, right?
Absolutely not. I didn't blame Perryman last year. That's what is the way the draft and free agency set up. That's what this is for, so they can go get their big contracts.
100%. And that's the reason why I don't blame the Bucs for drafting Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota. I mean, this kid's a talented receiver, and you've got to be thinking about future moving parts and having replacements for different players.
You know what? I've got a proposition bet here. It's right up your alley. What player do you think we're going to ask you about? Come on, it's only the curse of death. You've done it to me and Peter.
Mr. Ryan Suckup.
There you go, Mr. Suckup.
My man.
Ryan Suckup. Will his first kickoff result in a touchback?
No, because Bradley Pinion does the kickoffs. So that's a trick bet.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pinion kicks off.
Then you better bet it because
Bet
if
the
he
under.
doesn't get it, hold on. You bet the under because it's plus 320. If the first kickoff that he makes,
Bet that now. Bet that right now.
minus 430. It's
I will-
absolutely sick. I
I'll
can't
finally
do
bet
that.
my mortgage.
I can't wait. I can't wait to show you what my boy.
You know what sucked though? If for some reason Pinion shows up, he's got a bunion, and they get sucked up out there to do it.
Are you sure Pinion does the kickoffs or does he do the
Every
punts?
100% of the time?
Hold on.
Okay.
You can Ben Israel. I think that's a picture of a goat. What do you think?
I can't put my glasses on.
You don't need your glasses. I want to know if it's a goat or a Billy goat. Because if it's the goat, it's Brady. If it's the Billy
No.
goat, it's Mahomes.
That's a cat. That was Bandit.
That's a
Oh
cat.
my God!
Meow.
Oh yes, it is a kitty cat. It was a meow.
meow.
Yeah, you see, you can my boy out there, Sean Singleton. I wish the Chiefs were 100% healthy when we play. Why? The Bucs aren't 100% healthy.
Nobody's healthy this time. And
Nobody's healthy.
Everybody will tell you.
There is
everybody's
no
got some
such thing
injuries.
as 100% healthy this time of year for any team.
Nope.
Donnie Vincent, 38-25 Bucks. Rich H, Bucks win by 6, 34-28. You know what? Everything that I've seen with what people are predicting here,
Right.
You know, if everybody has the same common denominator, you know what it is? It's
Bucks
over.
win.
It's over 56.5.
Really?
Yeah. Every one of the predictions that I've read.
28-25 would be 53.
I didn't see 28-25.
What was that last one?
38-35 and 34-28. Sean
Yeah.
Singleton, because if we win, they can't say there were 100%. Who cares what they say? No one remembers it next year anyway. They just remember what the loss and the win is.
Let me ask you guys.
Believe
though,
me, because if the Bucks were hurting, do you think Kansas City fans were saying, gee, I wish Brady was 100%? Hell no.
Do you guys, Johnny, do you feel if you had to say the Buccaneers win, but you have to choose if you think they win being over or win being under. What would you say? Your
Over or
best
under the
educated guess?
50?
56.5.
Over.
Oh yeah, I do too.
You
I
think they
mean,
could
I've been
win a
touting
shootout?
that all week long. I
Okay.
have been touting that all week long. Bet the over in this game. It hasn't moved. That means there's, you know what? The first half might be a little scary though. I don't think there's going to be that many points in the first half scored. I think both teams, the longer commercials, it's going to be, 2 weeks not playing. It just always seems to work that way.
More conservative.
And don't be surprised you see like a couple of turnovers. It's going to be a little bit more conservative because no one really wants to make any kind of mistakes.
Right.
Okay.
That's when they're going to be filling each other out too to see what kind of new tricks have been added.
We're going back there again. You guys keep taking it down that road.
I know. Rick H. Right now, Brady has earned $4 million in bonuses. He gets another $1 million if he wins Sunday. Boy, I wish I was him. Rick H. At home, Pinion is 93% touchbacks. You can. Hope Brady gives me $1 million.
No.
You can. I think you'd have to fight Giselle for that. I think she's got her. I think she's got her fingers right around that money pretty well tonight. Ryan Friesen, Bucks win 44-27. See, Ray? That's another
Everything's over. You're right.
Everybody needs to bet
But
the over.
go back 3 years ago. Patriots versus the Rams. That was the Rams, that Super Bowl, were the most bet on team in the history of the NFL, which I guess every year goes by. And of course, legalized gambling across so many states now.
Did you say gambling?
Yeah. That was the VIG.
Like a bet?
I don't know any
Bet.
gamblers. Who gambles, man?
I have no idea.
Well, the Rams were heavily favored that game, but what was the final score of that game? You remember?
Which one?
The Rams versus the Patriots in Super Bowl 42.
They never scored a touchdown.
It was 13-6.
Did you know there's never been a shutout in the Super Bowl? You know what the odds are of a team getting shut?
See, that would be a great bet.
No, it's not a great bet. I am not touting that wager.
No, but that is a great fantasy right there, man.
A shutout at Raymond James.
Hey, come on, man. We got it. The first Super Bowl in their home
There's a
stadium.
place,
We
John,
had a
there's
miracle
place in
year.
Pinellas
Why not?
County.
And then after the game, JD, fire that damn cannon all night.
I
Every
can't see them
hour on
not
the
firing the
hour.
cannon after the
Now,
game.
now we're talking
They will.
about fantasies and firing cannons,
Popping off.
and pop. Yeah, really.
Balls,
really.
bowls, and
balls
balls.
and bowls, and oh my god,
You said feeling them out.
I didn't do anything like that.
I did. I said it.
Where's Rick with his foul mouth producer when we need him?
Where's our callers, guys? The phone
you know
number's
what?
on
Not
the
one
crawl
phone
there.
call. I can't believe it. Maybe my phone's not
No
working.
no tengo, no pequeño pelotas. You can't call us up here. Come on. It's a
Jesus.
Thursday night. Call and talk about the Super Bowl. We got Super Bowl 55 happening like 15
can't-
minutes that way.
What I can't believe is my boy. You can. He hasn't even called this show one time, but he likes to troll me a little bit on the.
He's
on
so
the
good. He's
web
so
here.
good. He was great last Sunday.
Yeah, he was awesome, dude. At least I'm really glad he's got a good personality.
And he's got some family on Nebraska Avenue.
Oh, that you know what? That's not nice. That's not nice.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way.
I did though.
I know you did.
Arrow Boutwell, look of money on the over already. Sean Singleton, I was referring to their offensive line injuries. Okay, that's fair. Rick H, how many sacks does the Bucks defense get? That's a good question.
Wow.
I think the better question is how many hurries are they going to get? I am going to tell you right now, I honestly think that Tampa Bay gets a minimum of 3 in this game, and I'm probably going to say 8 or 9. Nope, I'm going to say 10 hurries in this game.
I just love the fact that with Vita Vea blowing up the middle. Again, he
Blowing-
didn't play that.
blowing-
Blowing it up. There I go again. Blowing it.
He said glow.
Ray.
Glow.
That hurt.
That one hurt, Ray.
With Vita Vea blowing up the middle, and then you got JPP on a mission. Guys, by the way, Johnny, we talked about this with that special little cup of Ray a couple of weeks ago, and thanks again, brother, for being there. Hey, Bandit.
Hi, Bandit. Get off of my counter. Yep.
Who's
There you
your
go.
three? Who's your 3-star? Who's your 3 captains that go to midfield,
baby.
Johnny, for the Buccaneers? Who's your 3 captains that go out for the coin toss?
Evans, Brady, and LVD.
Evans, Brady, LVD. Because Levante and Will
You got to have Evans and Levante out there, man. You have to. And who's the captain of the team right now? Who put us in the Super Bowl? Tom Brady. You got
Tom
that.
Brady. And that, of course, the only reason why Tom's not there is if he just does the Tom Brady thing where he goes, I want someone else to do it. I'm gonna sit with Byron Leftwich, and we're gonna talk a little more. And that's
and what you think he's gonna put Suck Up out there, right?
No. I'm thinking, I got a kick out of that. I think it's Levante.
Josh Rosen.
Levante.
That would be Gabbert.
Rick Hughes. I think it's definitely got to be Levante. I would love to see the rookie Tristan Wirfs go out there, and I would also love to see Devin White go out there. And it's because Levante's the old
next year.
Yeah, next year. Okay, yeah, because that's when I actually thought your Buccaneers would have been in the Super Bowl.
That's what I thought. And I got props to Peter Blake for sticking to his guns all year.
Super Bowl bust.
Would you please stop with giving the guy props? He could barely get to my front door. His head's so big right now.
Me or Peter?
No, the one on his shoulders.
Well, come on, man. Peter has earned it. He's earned it. He's
now we're talking about
2 years.
Talking about it. He's the hardest.
He has earned it. He's been doing this for 2 years and trying to make the miserable look like.
Where is this show going?
And what is? I'll say this right now, guys and girls out there. You're watching us from Nebraska. And we've got fans in Australia. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate your following us. It's the reason why we love this interaction and in the back and forth with you. But in the most underserved market in the entire, not just National Football League, but professional sports entirely. You're talking about it. I turned on the local sports station. I won't give any initials or say it. I turned it on last night. I'm leaving UPS after my night job, and I turned on the local sports station on the FM dial, and I got static. I got snow. 20 minutes later, I got static. I got snow. Now, usually it's Colin Cowherd going on the nighttime because, guys, the Tampa Bay area only has 7 hours of local coverage every day. The rest of it's national broadcast. When the Rays break that news that Stu Sternberg's looking to have a stadium built in Montreal to split the season, I turn over to the local sports station, and it's Dan Patrick talking about his favorite Netflix movies for the month of April. This happened in 2020. What I'm getting at, though, Peter Blake, the hardest working man in sports in the Tampa Bay area, and he's bringing it to you 3 nights a week, twice on Sunday. So make sure you join us for all of your Buccaneer game day coverage on Sunday. You're going to have the NFL Network. You're going to have CBS. You're going to have all the local outlets, but only one outlet's bringing it to you live and with everybody out the party deck at the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla del Sol. If you can't join us, tune in with us, call in, have a great time. Let's celebrate 55 together. I will get off my soapbox.
No, but seriously, all the single women need to come out there. I'll tell you why, because Peter's single. And he's ready to mingle, baby. No, seriously, he's single, never married.
Ready to mingle.
He's a Capricorn. He likes long.
All right, you've had this question up a while. Can I answer it?
Oh, please.
Absolutely.
I think there's going to be over 5 sacks. For the Bucs against them.
I actually agree with you. Let's read the next comment. Rick H. Lowest Super Bowl scorers 3 twice, the Rams and the Fish. I had to say that. Fins are down.
What was the lowest scoring national football, the NFC Conference Championship game of all time?
God, I have
6-0, 9-0.
Nothing. The Rams beat the Buccaneers in 1979 or 1970.
I didn't know that. I thought you guys converted.
Well, I'm not sure it's the lowest. There might have been one lower, but that's the one that
I do not believe there is one lower.
I do know that there were back-to-back shutouts in the playoffs, and that happened by
playoffs.
The Chicago Bears, 23-0 against the Giants, and 21-0 against the Rams.
It was the Rams. I thought that was the Niners.
Oh my God! Right, the Rams beat the Buccaneers at the Trans World Dome.
That's right. Yep.
On turf, 11-6 in 1999. It was the Bert Emanuel game.
Yep.
Russell Weeks. I think this is up to the Bucs offense. Long, sustained drives, keeping Mahomes off the field. And how do you do that?
Running.
The victim. A volume.
You said volume.
I did say volume.
Well, that's an interesting one. The W Burger.
What's that, Johnny?
Drop down one on their comments, man.
I will.
If I do this, will Johnny come through? Is that?
Yes, he does. Say
Johnny,
something, Johnny.
Go ahead and say something. Go ahead and say something.
Something.
No, that's him.
No, that's him.
No, but he was saying something.
No,
over
that
and over.
actually echoes like
Did
that.
you say something one time or many times?
Something one time.
There you go. W. Berger, Scotty Miller, over under is only 20.5. Definitely take that over. You know what?
I think Scotty Miller gets 20 yards rushing.
No, I think if Scotty Miller
That's one pass, man.
if he does catch a pass in one game, I'm sorry, if he does catch one pass in this game, it's usually going to be a bomb. And I probably have 3, maybe 4 targets tops going to Scotty Miller. You know what, Mr. Berger, I'll tell you what, that was a very, very good idea. It's kind of risky because it is the Super Bowl and they basically are very healthy. And I don't think he's going to see the field that much. All he has to do is catch one pass. Make a small position on that one.
Well, let me tell you though. Let me finish. Now, just like I said that I'd make the prediction that Vita Vea gets in the backfield as a halfback and gets that rushing touchdown.
Wait, when did you say that? I didn't hear that one.
Harry, last Sunday we were just I was just saying, you know.
I actually like that one, dude.
You like
I
that?
like that one. Yes.
Buddy wants to steal a page out of the
guys.
No. And first off, the Bears weren't the first one to do that with Fred. They were the most famous ones to do it.
The 49ers were the first one to do it.
Was it Will Clark?
Yes. Will Clark? Go ahead, Jerry.
It's Harry, but that's okay. Who's counting? I've been called the worst, John, and you know that.
What did I say? Wait a minute.
What happened was it was in the NFC Championship game in 1984 when the Bears were visiting the 49ers.
Okay, don't tell me that
in the fourth quarter.
Oh, Solomon Wilcott. No, what was Solomon? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Harry. I'm ignoring him.
It's kind of late at night, and I don't remember his name. And it wasn't Dana Stubblefield or anything like that, but it could have been. But anyway, they unleashed a 300-plus pound lineman late in the fourth quarter when the game was out of reach, and they decided to stick it in Chicago's ear. So the following year in week 6, the Chicago Bears played the 49ers. And it was Guy McIntyre, by the way. The Chicago Bears in week 6 played the 49ers the following year. And that's when they unleashed William the Refrigerator Perry, because the Bears handed the 49ers their worst loss to date back then. They sacked Joe Montana, if I'm not mistaken, something like 9 times. So Ditka had a very, very long memory.
Yeah.
He didn't forget it. And that's
the first time I ever saw that done was not in a Super Bowl era. It was Green Bay Packers with Vince Lombardi, and he used a defensive lineman to run in a 1-yard line.
Well,
I think he was originally brought in there to block because his the guard had went down the previous play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they decided to use it as a gimmick play, and it worked.
Yeah, the Bears made it famous.
Johnny, were you at that game?
Stop it, Ray.
Because you said it like I was there. Like I remember it was the Ice Bowl.
That stood out in my mind. It really did. I thought that was amazing.
Packers beat the Chiefs. No, but the point I was making though, what's been the narrative between Scotty Miller and the Cheetah Tyreek Hill all week? What's been the narrative?
Who's faster?
Who's faster, right? And
it don't matter who's faster. We've seen those games before.
That was Super Bowl 2. Oh, okay. So yeah. So my producer says I love saying that. My producer says
I actually have
actually
someone has a question, but I'm going to have to ask her.
Well, let me finish though. Let me say though, the narrative this week has been who's faster? Who's faster, Scotty Miller or Tyreek Hill? So don't you just think that Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians sitting around over at the house there with Christine? She's in the back having a white wine. She's relaxing, and they're talking about what they could possibly do. And they say, "Look, let's give it to Scotty Miller on an end around. Let's have Scotty Miller run an end around, and just to let the players get pumped up, get Scotty involved in the game early. Let's not even make it a pass. That's where Scotty Miller gets you 20 yards rushing, and that's why I think that Scotty Miller gets more rushing yards than he does passing if they don't pass to him the rest of the game.
That's true.
I can't argue the logic behind it.
There's no logic.
That's why I can't argue it.
Anyway, back to the comments, guys. Sean Singleton, I wish we could listen to Gene call the game.
Mean Gene.
You can.
Yeah, you actually can.
But you come out to the Bucs report party at the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla, and every time the Bucs have a turnover, a score, or just anytime Peter Blake feels like it, you're going to hear the original Buccaneer fight song. Hey, hey, Tampa Bay, the Bucs know how to shine. Hey, Tampa Bay, the Bucks know how to shine.
Do I get the little plastic album, the little plastic 45 that came with it? and stuff? Yeah.
WPAE. Oh, I said that name of that radio station. But yeah, that was my first album I ever owned. We're in trouble. That's okay. We're
Tampa Bay.
No, we're in trouble. That's okay. We can pull it out because we know
Oh God, here we go again.
when we stand up.
And shout.
Stand up and shout. Hey, Tampa. So you want to have a party? Come down and get your spot at the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla for your Bucks Report game day. And guys, if you can't make it, I get it because we got you guys all over the world. Bucks Report's coming at you from everywhere. Join us and tune in on Saturday, Sunday, and we're gonna savor the flavor and kick it out over the airwaves so you guys can enjoy it with us because we're in the Super Bowl, the first team ever to play a home Super Bowl in their own stadium.
It's unreal.
I don't care if you're firing the cannons or not. We're going to be owning.
I still say
That's
fire the
nice.
cannons.
Wait, are the Buccaneers playing in a Super Bowl?
They're gonna, well, the thing is that I'm glad you said that because the Chiefs, the Arrowhead, Native American, the Native American people, they have a great history with cannons.
Don't go.
Ray,
Say
that was very disappointing, Ray.
Yeah, Ray.
I'm sorry,
Seriously.
but the thing is when they said that we should fire at both teams, they shouldn't even have that dialogue. It should have been taken care of from the beginning. They're going to fire it pregame for both teams, but then during the game, you go to the Super Bowl stuff.
I agree. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Johnny?
Yeah, I can agree.
The cannons. You're good with the cannons, right, Johnny?
I'm good with the cannons after the game. It is supposed to be a neutral site, man.
But it's
You
not.
know,
It's not going to be a neutral site. They're at home.
it's not going to be, but they got to try to make it be as much as possible so they don't. It's not advantage one or the other. The Super Bowl is always supposed to be played at a neutral site. That's why there's never been a Super Bowl played in a hometown because they've tried to keep it like fresh and moved around and stuff, and the odds was against it ever happening.
And Johnny, you're the one going back to what happened in Minnesota because Minnesota was literally on a cusp of hosting that game, and they should not have lost that. They should have been in that Super Bowl that was played there at the brand new stadium there in Minnesota. And you're the one that said, and yeah, I agree with you. I thought that Minnesota should have had it, and they got pretty much robbed of being in that Super Bowl.
Yes, they did, but
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
happened to a lot of teams. We just have to move on.
I got an interesting comment. Mr. Berger again. I really like Devin White plus 3,000 for MVP too. You know what? It's not uncommon.
Who for MVP?
I'm sorry.
Who for MVP?
Devin White.
Yeah,
Wow.
plus 3,000 for every 100 you bet, you can make 3,000.
Wow.
You know, Devin, that's a great idea. Not too many defensive players win the MVP, but
I'm surprised that's still up there that high, man. After the last game.
I'm not because Johnny.
Yeah, you're right about the defensive players.
You got Patrick Mahomes and you have Tom Brady. It's
Right.
a stretch even saying that the victim of volume is going to get it. But you know what? If he runs for 100 yards and gets a couple of TDs, how can you not give it to him?
Well, and Mahomes has got to be the least. I think he's like what 40 to 1.
Fabian
Yep.
Espinoza says, "What's up, guys?" Sean Singleton. So if we win, they fire the cannons? ? No, that was just my wish that they would fire the cannons. But personally, I think they should fire the cannons not only after every score, but just getting into the run zone for Kansas City and for Tampa. Because you know what? That's what makes that stadium, guys. Those cannons are what make that stadium. That's what's something special.
you
It's
see
the
what the-
biggest prop. I mean, hell, man, think about it. It's the size of the entire end zone.
See what that? Do you see how they're going to use it at halftime?
No,
The Weeknd is going to be up there. Hey, do you like the Weeknd? The
I
Weeknd's
love the weekend.
he's going to be up there. He said, "Well,
I like
he
weekdays.
basically
Kidding. I do. No, I'm kidding. I
he
like
basically
weekends.
alluded to the fact that it is probably going to be involved in his halftime show somehow, which just makes sense, right? Because you've got the limited 25,000 people, 30,000 cardboard cutouts, which is great. It's going to make for a great shot. And then, no, I mean it really is.
I don't see how in the world a cardboard cutout's going to make it. You know how stupid that looks in those stadiums.
Well,
I
better
think?
than empty seats.
Leave them empty. If there's nobody there, just show the people that are there. Because every time you try to look into the stadium, you have all those cardboard boxes, and all of a sudden you're looking for one to move. Okay, no, there is a person right there. What the hell do you have the cutouts for?
Excuse me, sir. You're in my seat.
Really?
He's ignoring me. He's ignoring me.
You know, I mean, you really got to think about that. W. Berger, couple sacks and a turnover. That's an easy MVP. It's not. It's not. He's going to have an exceptional game. A couple of sacks ain't going to do it. He's going to need a couple of sacks, probably an interception, causing a fumble. And if they win and you keep Brady under 4 touchdown passes, then he could win the MVP. Anything far short of that, 0 chance.
The last time a player should have won the MVP was a Patriot, and Brady ended up giving him the MVP trophy because he didn't feel like I guess he felt like he had enough of them. I don't know.
But Johnny, are you going to go to Disneyland?
Disneyland or Disney World?
Let me ask you this, Johnny. Super Bowl 37, right? Buccaneers at Qualcomm Stadium versus the Oakland Raiders, who are now the Las Vegas Raiders. Don't you think Dwight Smith should have won that MVP and not Dexter Jackson?
No.
Because Dwight Smith basically said what? He said this week that he thinks the Super Bowl was rigged.
No, because Dexter Jackson's my friend. I don't. Dexter deserved that trophy, man. Don't try to take that from him.
I am for real. So here's the thing, guys. The Bucs win. I'm going to tell this story since it's a Super Bowl, and I'll make it quick. The Bucs win that Super Bowl. They're flying. And Johnny, were you living in the Bay Area at that time still back in 2000?
Yes, sir.
So did you go over to the stadium that night when the Bucs returned to TIA, or were you able to?
Yes.
Okay.
Did the parade, the whole 9 yards, man.
So yeah, and then of course they come inside. We're there for like 2 hours. They open a stadium. We didn't sit in our season tickets. My wife and I actually got on a 50-yard line about 6 rows up, and the plane flies overhead. And they told us over the intercom there at Raymond James Stadium. I don't know if it's Paul Porter at the time or whoever did the in-stadium announcing, but they basically said that the Buccaneers had asked for special permission from FAA to fly the plane in and tilt it so they could look down and see us all in that stadium. There's about 40,000 of us, I think.
No cardboard cutouts?
No cardboard cutouts.
Okay.
But we had a party. They brought the Lombardi out, and Malcolm Glazier, the patriarch of the Glazier family and all. But anyway, here's the thing. So my wife and I are like, I have to work the next day, and we had a daughter at the time. She was only 2. So we're like, we're going to get out of here. We've seen everything. They're going to do a couple more announcing. I think Brad Johnson hadn't spoke yet. So we walk out through on the west side at the 50-yard line because our cars, we were parked over in Lot A. And we're walking by, and this young gentleman is walking past us, and he's holding something. And I should have put 2 and 2. I know. Come on.
I'm waking up. I'm only kidding, guys.
And he's holding something. And I walk past him. I get about 50 feet past him, and I look back, and he looked back at us, my wife and I, Kathleen. And I realized at that moment that he was carrying the MVP trophy. It was Dexter Jackson. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, nobody else was leaving. Everybody was in the stadium. We had just left because we wanted to beat the crowd out of there, to get home because I had to work early the next day. And I look back, and, I didn't want to run after him because I realized he'd just spent a week out in Oakland or, out in San Diego. They just won a Super Bowl. He was leaving early because he wanted to get home and do his thing with his family. He had the MVP trophy. So I didn't go back to him.
That's a pretty cool story.
To be honest, all right, who should have got the MVP in that game? The entire defense, because come on, how can you say that 55 didn't earn it, or Warren Sapp didn't earn it, or Rondé didn't earn it, or Lynch didn't earn it? Everybody was standing out in that game. Every member of that defense was standing out, and not to mention there were some offensive players making plays in that game.
And remember Dwight Smith, who I was just referring to. He has the second interception. He makes the second interception for a touchdown, but they had already got the submissions in for Dexter Jackson, who also had 2 interceptions and a touchdown return. And some people at the time were like, wow, if they had, just like we say that if they waited till the night before the Super Bowl to vote for MVP, if it wasn't a regular season award, Tom Brady would probably be right there with Aaron Rodgers. Not just because we beat the Packers in Green Bay to go on to the Super Bowl, because Tom Brady, we've won 7 in a row, first time in franchise history, and now we're in the Super Bowl for the first time in 18 years, only the second time in 45.
Don't kid yourself. There's a lot of Tom Brady hate out there amongst the media as well. So
there's a ton of Tom Brady haters out there. I mean, but you know what? I'll be the first one to tell you I didn't like Tom Brady either.
Really?
Well, I didn't like him, but I didn't like him because he wasn't a Buck. That's why I didn't like him. I always respected Tom Brady.
I don't want everybody to remember that last part of my statement. I need to finish exactly what I was saying. I never liked Tom Brady. But after about his 12th year, I really learned to appreciate somebody, especially like that. Mm-hmm. And then when he turned 40,
and
I'm like, wow, this guy's still playing at such a high level. Anyway, back to the comments. Ben Parrish.
Wait, back to your comment, Ray. I mean, Harry, sorry.
Jerry?
It took you 12 seasons to get to that?
Yeah, honestly, it did.
I was there or after about the 6th season when I saw that the defense wasn't carrying them no more. But then the first half of the first part of that, I guess the first part of his first 10 years, Jesus, we've been talking about this guy a long time.
Well, John, do you remember the Drew Bledsoe, the game at the old Sombrero? No, it was a new Tampa Stadium, 2000, when the Patriots came in here, and Brady's a rookie on that team, and we dominated that Patriots team, and we chased Drew Bledsoe from the game. And if you were at that game, or people out there watching, if you're at the game, you remember we were all in the stadium, we're all going Bledsoe, and the Bucs get up by 30 points. We had like 4 interceptions off Bledsoe in the first quarter, and they actually pulled him. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember we chased him from that game? And that was Tom Brady was a rookie on that team. That was the first time he ever visited Raymond James Stadium. And he probably didn't have a good impression of Buccaneer fans from there
probably
on.
Didn't.
I was actually a Bledsoe fan. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How can I get to the comments, guys?
Comments.
Jesus.
Hey, Harry, wait a minute. Get to the comments, bud.
There you go. Ben Parrish, good evening, guys. Enjoying the show from Hanford, California. It's our time. Really appreciate it, Ben. Russell Weeks, chuck the cardboard people out onto the field. LOL. That's right. I like that one. Russell, you're absolutely correct. Sean Singleton, yes, Dwight Smith. Mr. Berger again. Dexter was so underrated. He sure was, Ray.
Yes, he was. Just like our secondary currently is.
Thank you, Berger.
Bunting and Jamil Dean, and
he does remind me of Murphy Bunting actually reminds me of him.
Yeah.
Sean
Dirty
Singleton.
Jack.
What'd you say there, Professor?
I was wondering who he reminded you of. Was it Dirty Jack?
Dexter Jackson, yeah.
Sean Singleton, maybe because Dwight Smith had off the field issues. It could be. I didn't really know too much about that. Russell Weeks, the MVP vote was already set for Jackson before Dwight's picks. I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, Dwight already had one pick.
Yeah, it kind of was. They don't do it before. They do it before the end of the game. I think it's first half.
I love this next comment. You ready? Russell Weeks, they're calling for no Super Bowl parties. Haha. Don't they realize we party during hurricanes?
Johnny, have you thought when we do have hurricane parties, they're pretty good.
That's a fact.
But have you thought about what might happen? Again, I'm going to go ahead and go there. If the Bucs win Super Bowl 55 Sunday night, they may keep the fans out of the stadium. But does anybody else think there's a possibility that Tampa Bay may suddenly decide to go over to Tampa and just kind of congregate?
Are you talking about like West Virginia or something, dude?
I'm talking about Chicago.
I'm from the West Virginia coal mines and the rock.
You do know about Morgantown, right? Ray? You know how they react. You know how Morgantown reacts every time they win a game, right?
No.
Oh my goodness! Haven't you seen the burning couches?
Johnny Ray, no. I am definitely not going to be rude to a very important person sitting right over here. All the way up from North Carolina, the #1 Buck fan in the world. I'd like to add to this.
There he is.
Mr. Rick Hughes.
Josh Rosen.
Oh, don't you give him no Josh Rosen. Rick, how you doing this
evening?
Boy,
I've missed you, Ray.
He's refreshing, isn't he, Rick?
He goes straight to Josh Rosen. I don't know. What are you going to do?
Come here. We got one we want to bring in here just so you can see his pretty face. Come over here. Get up here in the middle and bend down. Say hello to this big guy right there.
Mr. Blake.
Our producer.
You know what? And I'm going to give Mr. Blake my cams because you know what? This is like the trio sitting right here. I'm just Harry the Greek. I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes. Rick, I am so glad you could join the show tonight. But hold on just for a second, guys.
Yeah.
So Harry called for a pee break, right?
Pee break, smoke break. I'm not sure which. It's one of them.
Man. Rick, how you doing, brother? So
I am good, man. I made some. I don't know if you can you hear me well? Am I good?
Tonight.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. What did I have for dinner tonight? I had a BLT and French fries, nachos, and queso dip.
Nice.
Wow, that sounds really good.
I upgraded some things here in the studio. I am so happy right now. You have no idea. See, the OCD in me hates cables and hates wires and hates all of that. And if you could have seen my place, it was covered in cables and wires and stuff. And now if you walk in, you would think my entire studio is wireless. instead of looking at myself on a computer monitor, I have a 65-inch television that I'm staring at straight in front of me. I mean, this is a beautiful thing.
I mean, it really is, guys. I mean, it's a beautiful thing because we're 3 days away from Super Bowl 55 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Tom Brady is the starting quarterback. And I get it. We keep on saying that, but it's unbelievable. It's been an unbelievable year all around, just the way this team started out, just the way the year started out with
through a
everything.
pandemic, and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else that's happened. And don't even go. We won't even talk about Titletown.
Right, but I mean, you look at Tampa Bay sports. I mean, if you love Tampa Bay sports, you have the Tampa Bay Lightning win the Stanley Cup. You have the Tampa Bay Rays. Most likely, they would have won Game 6 if you keep Blake Snell. Just saying, they took him out too early. World Series.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been.
Don't forget the Rowdies, Blake.
Well, yeah, the Rowdies. Yeah, the Rowdies. Absolutely.
The Rowdies
soccer team.
are
Kicking the
kicking
grass.
That was for you, Rick, by the way.
Yeah, whatever. We're talking minor league soccer.
I mean,
it
but
wasn't for you, Rick, but I remember now that there is a pre-reference there.
right. But the great thing is that, we're all sitting here right now on the cusp of something so great that we're going to look back at it and we're going to go, this may never happen again in NFL history, ever.
Right.
Never may ever
55
happen.
years.
Right. 54 years.
Well, yeah, on the 55th year. But I
Right.
mean, and then you go back and you think about the fact that what a thing that the Chiefs play in Super Bowl I versus those Packers. The Packers beat those Chiefs. That Hank Stram, that
Will
Lamar
circulate
Hunt,
down the field, right?
matriculate down the field.
Yes.
And here they are in 55, and we're playing at our place.
Yeah.
Just 55 years, and then talk about never happening again. I mean, because how many more times do you think the Super Bowl will even be in Raymond James Stadium?
I mean, look, if they do the upgrades like what they've done, I don't see why there can't be Super Bowls here all the time. Miami, Tampa Bay, San Diego should be the rotation.
Right.
That's where it's at. Everything else.
Well, I heard them talking about it today. They said that I don't know how true it is. I mean, I heard it on the internet. It must be true. That Roger Goodell is going to be discussing whether or not they will come back to Tampa because of the lack of fans and whether Tampa kind of got screwed because of how this whole Super Bowl went down, even though it's at home. And they were talking about the possibility of Tampa getting another one.
I'm
But
glad you say that, Rick, though, because the thing about it is we know next year it's at the new Hollywood Park, which is a $5 billion stadium there in Los Angeles. But what you have down here, and Johnny Dean, this, and Rick Hughes, this, because you guys are Tampa Bay. You live in Tampa Bay and you know the area. The stadium at Raymond James on Dale Mabry is 15 minutes away from Riverwalk, which is now on the beautiful little riverfront there on the Hillsborough River. And then you have, basically you have, down there going down the waterfront where the Amelie.
is. Well, as Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment says, the oil can.
Yeah, it's the oil can,
Right.
just like Lucas Oil used to be where the Colts play, right?
Or
In Indianapolis.
Oil Can Boyd, which is my boys, Harry the Greek's favorite team in the Chicago White Sox.
Speaking of the White
Oil
Sox,
I think that talk that you heard today, Rick, is just the pre-negotiations of getting a new stadium in this town.
well, I think that's going to happen. You're going to end up with a new stadium here. There's no way around that.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, if anybody's going to get a new stadium, guys, it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially if they win a Super Bowl. The Rays,
Absolutely.
they haven't won a series yet. There's been years. We've been through that. I'm not going to go down that road, but you have the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've been unbelievable. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I learned this in broadcasting school. And my teacher at the time was Matt Salmon, Tampa Bay Lightning Network, and was on 620 WDAE. He said the first thing you talk about in this town is what? Football. Second thing you talk about in this town is what? Football. Third thing you talk about in this town is what? Football. What's the fourth thing you talk about in this town?
at this point, it's hockey.
Football.
Mom's baby.
That's it. I mean, because it's such a football state, and I get it. Tampa Bay Lightning have done a great job, tremendous job with Jeff Vinnick and getting, having fans here and everything else. And you have the Tampa Bay Rays. But at the end of the day, this has always been a Buck state. And I tell you right now, especially in the Bay Area here, when the Bucks are winning, you can't find a seat. We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Tony Dungy. We saw it with John Gruden there for some years. And then eventually they got old. They couldn't draft. They couldn't do much of anything. And they went down into the doldrums again. So for me,
Well-
having another Super Bowl here would kind of, reciprocate Leo word of what Vince McMahon is doing with WrestleMania. They were supposed to have WrestleMania here last year,
Right.
Orlando instead. This year they're having 2 nights at Raymond
Can you
James
believe
Stadium.
it?
Why not?
I know
Roger?
you're geeked about this.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And if Bucks Report wants me to go live from WrestleMania, I'll do it. I'm just saying, Keith Larson. I'm just saying, me and Ray Kennedy at WrestleMania right there, Raymond James Stadium with Harry the Greek. We'll have him on with us. He'll be giving us the prop bets.
I heard a couple of wrestlers the other day on the radio, and they're like, yeah, the Super Bowl's our warm-up party for our 2 days of wrestling we're going to have here in
But boy, and if you've watched much of the coverage, this city, wow. Now, Tampa is showing out. I mean, it looks beautiful. The city has looked fantastic on television. And, look, there's going to be a new stadium. I've been to the stadium in Atlanta. I've been to Raymond James. I love Raymond James. You love the pirate ship. You love the feel of it once you're in the stadium and, once you're in, to your seating. But there is a massive difference in stadiums now. Raymond James, when it was built, cost something like $140 million.
$192 million for the team itself. The Glazers bought it for.
Yeah, $192 million. Okay, so $192 million versus a $2 billion stadium, and I can tell you, I can just tell you, it makes a difference.
Rick,
And
the iron. I'm sorry, Rick. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just going to say it's a fact that there is a difference in the newer stadiums. That you talk about these super stadiums and all that, and sometimes you spend a whole lot of money and you end up with the same sort of experience. Like, all I can imagine, if you're spending $5 billion on a stadium in Los Angeles, I don't know how there could be that much of a difference between the $2 billion stadium in Atlanta. I'm sure the ground cost a lot more, but
Here's the thing for me, though, honestly,
Mhm.
because you and I have talked about this, and I know what you're saying, because at the end of the day, this talks, right? But as you guys will see, and you said it yourself just a minute ago, that Tampa Bay is really showing out this week.
yeah,
You'll see it on Sunday night. You can put in Hollywood Park, you can put in Megatron's butthole, you can put in all the other stadiums, and I get it, right? There's some great. I like the one in Minneapolis, that new glass.
yeah,
Yeah. But you'll see Sunday night. This is still one of the, if not the best surfaces in the entire National Football League that these two teams will be playing on in Super Bowl 55. And at the end of the day, I want.
yeah. There's not a USF game the night before, right?
Well,
Right.
That's a great key to it, because I know when Mike Evans went down with the supposed injury there was a
Right.
game right before. There was that
The night
Outback
before.
Bowl, which is tradition. But you're exactly right, Ray and Rick and Professor getting on this. There's never been a lot of complaints about the stadium surface and the grass. It's always been one of the best in the NFL.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, a lot of players want to come down here and play on Raymond James Stadium because it is such a great surface, but it's such a great city. And you know what? Tampa has always done a great job when it comes to big time sporting events. You look at the national championship a couple years ago with Clemson and Alabama,
Beautiful.
a classic.
Instant classic.
Deshaun Watson to who again? The wide receiver? Hunter Renfro. Good job. Co-host Renfro early on in that game. They do such a great job overall in the history with the Raiders coming to the old sombrero. And of course, one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. I think it was Super Bowl 25 with the Buffalo Bills and New York Giants, where it comes down to a field goal, but it's back and forth. You got Jeff Hostetler of the New York Giants versus the K-Gun and Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed and James Lofton and Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith. Who could forget Bruce Smith? Hall of Famer. So, and I remember
Andre
this
Reed.
because I was watching the game with my father and my stepfather. Stepfather was a Giants fan. Father was a Buffalo Bills fan. And that's what you want to see from this game on Sunday night. Hopefully a back and forth affair between two quarterback greats, one that could be great and one that is great and probably is the greatest of all time. And I really think the fans are in for it. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you guys something? They're talking about rain during the game. Now, obviously, I believe we all know whose advantage that is. But You know, I mean, how is that going to play out in the game? How do you guys think that's actually going to affect, you know, the 60 minutes of football? How do you?
I think it depends on guys. Doesn't the wind? You know, you hear the wind 68 degrees, 5 to 15 miles an hour. So then the victim of volume in a Ronald Jones or a playoff Lenny, maybe you would see more of a running game there. For the Bucs, and they need to concentrate on that because that has been their bread and butter.
Well, here's the thing too, Rick. I'm glad you asked that because it's the front, right? And there's a front coming through. It's not coming through. It's not being distinct. It's not going to actually be an official like rain front. It's kind of coming through on Saturday, seeping into Saturday night, and then Sunday it's going to actually push through. So if the front slows down, which is the only reason why they're not saying for sure whether there will be or won't be rain, if the front slows down, you'll have those southwesterlies coming in, right? So going north of the stadium towards the pirate ship, there'll be some wind, and that would favor the team going first and fourth or whatever, first and third. But if the front does totally get through, like Peter said, that wind will be out of the north because that means the front did push through. But either way, the wind's not going to be strong enough to alter the game. It's not going to be like, you know, it's not going to be like, you know, being
it's
in
not gale force winds.
Yeah,
it's not going to be
like
30.
But is the rain going to affect it? Is it going to be more of a running game?
The Kansas City Chiefs have been practicing all week in snow and wind. So I don't think it's going to affect them at all. They're going to have their running game going and everything. Sloppy field conditions are sloppy field conditions no matter where you're at.
Well, the way it would affect you guys, and we're on, we got Harry the Greek here, my professional handicapper on Couple Ray. I'm your host, Peter Blake of the Sports Web, the evolution of sports talk television. We got Rick Hughes from the Cheap Seats. What's cooking in South, of course, the professor himself, Mr. Johnny Dean, here live on Bucs Report, 3 days away from Super Bowl 55. You're exactly right. You know, with the rain, yes, there may be some slippage, if you will, with players falling down and stuff like that. But I heard it was going to be early on in the day. It's not going to be during the game. But you would be worried about the wet conditions. That would be what you would be worried about.
I wouldn't be worried about any kind of wet conditions because if it does, then it's really Tampa Bay's favor.
No, I think it's definitely going to play into Tampa's favor. I just was wondering if you guys, how do you think it's going to impact the game? I mean, the surface is great. All right, that's awesome. But still, a wet ball is a wet ball is a wet ball. And throwing in the rain is what it is. And the surface, the Bucs know what cleats to wear. I mean, it's just a different, it's a whole different thing. Well, this is not the first Super Bowl where there's been rain. I mean, wasn't it Prince doing Purple Rain in a
rainstorm?
The greatest halftime shows of all time. And of course, Tom Brady with the New England Patriots playing a Philadelphia Eagle team, of course, with Terrell Owens falling with I believe a screw in his ankle, because that was the talk of the town. That was the talk of the NFL that year when Owens went with McNabb. They put up extraordinary numbers, and then he basically broke his leg. But you're exactly right. Prince did play in the rain, Purple Rain, in Jacksonville, probably one of the greatest halftime shows of all time.
Purple Rain.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would cause any kind of weather situation would be lightning, and that's been a concern for the league with Tampa Sports in the first place. I mean, that's what they're wanting to move away from the open dome.
Well, we've seen that, retractable. I think retractable is what everybody wants to do. Unfortunately, the problem with the retractable dome is the Rays and other teams have found out it adds a price tag to it, about $200 to $300 million.
Well, yeah, the Bucs are they're going to have to pay up because that's what's coming.
Yeah, there's no way around it. There's going to be a new stadium. Look, we all love Ray J. I love it. I've got it's always there's a soft spot for it. But it's not one of the better stadiums to experience when you're getting to your seats. If you're not down low and you got to walk up those cement ramps,
$200 to $300 million. I mean, Tampa Bay Ray could just take out a second mortgage.
Sure,
on his house.
$400 million added onto it. Instead of the Rays paying half for their stadium and paying $400 million, they're paying $892 million, and they're upset about it. And it's like, well, damn, the stadium doesn't even have a retractable roof. So come on, at least get a retractable roof.
I like the dome.
892. It's
go hit up Eddie DeBartolo for a loan.
Well, there you go.
Listen, don't even talk about a different owner. You know what? I've wanted DeBartolo, but after this year, I'm done with that. You got to be kidding me. The Glazers are awesome. The Glazers are fantastic. I love me some Glazers.
I wasn't talking about DeBartolo as a new owner. I was just saying, go hit him up for a loan. He lives there in Tampa.
Yeah.
Sure. If he doesn't gamble it away, I'll tell you what, let's go out to Joshua Cole Allen. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get Tampa Bay Ray on here. Joshua Cole Allen, welcome to Cup of Ray, of course, hosted by Harry the Greek and yours truly.
What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing tonight?
Well, what's going on, buddy? I'm going to get Tampa Bay Ray on here. Come on, Tampa Bay Ray.
How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great. Tired,
you feeling better, buddy?
It comes and goes. Aches, headaches, a little congestion here and there. I'll get clogged up and then I'll be good. But
I gotta tell you, buddy, you're the man. I
I'm
can
ready.
tell you that right now for what you've done with those interviews. I mean, if anybody that's out there listening tonight, you need to get the Buck Reports and take a look at some of the interviews that he has done being on Media Row. It's just absolutely incredible. Absolutely
I appreciate
incredible.
that. Off the brand, off of BR. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I gave him a shout out on Rick's show the other night about those interviews, and that was pretty good. Man.
And guys, I need to step away, but I just wanted to stop in and be a part of this.
Loving the plaid look, Rick.
We appreciate it, Rick.
Lumberjack
come back,
Hughes.
stay a little longer. By the way, what's the temperature up there, and what did you have for dinner, Rick?
You missed it. Everybody wants to know what I had for dinner.
We don't know what Peter ate for dinner.
That's the look everybody gives Rick on the show.
What's that?
He asked Ray what he had, and he says, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Haven't eaten it tonight.
Oh,
Hold on.
I had a BLT, French fries, nachos, and queso dip. So
Wow,
perfect.
man, all in.
And Rick, those glasses look fantastic too.
Yes,
brother.
they do. I really like the glasses. Rick, go ahead and get out of here, but go ahead and promote yourself.
just everybody, let me just tell you, tomorrow night is going to be freaking amazing. We're combining what's cooking in the South and live from the cheap seats. We're going all out, all the bells and whistles, all the little bits and fun and all kinds of things we're throwing in there. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. You know how these shows can kind of go off the rails. We'll plan on it. And I really hope, Ray, you'll come back around. Joshua, anybody who wants to come on tomorrow night, come on in. We're going to do stupid stuff Bucks fans say. We're going to have a good time.
That's great. Rick, thanks for coming on. Have yourself a really good night, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Take care, Rick.
Yep, take care.
And Ray, Harry, Joshua, I hope you all submit your videos. Well, I don't know about Harry because he's a Chicago fan, but it's okay. You can do why you became a Chicago fan and send that to Rick too.
Hey,
He forgot.
Man, now it's okay to be a bandwagon guy, isn't it?
Great.
I'll
Well,
be
then,
on-
yeah,
I'll be on live.
absolutely.
Johnny goes,
Absolutely.
let's move on.
You got one there, Josh?
I'll be on live tomorrow with Peter.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. I was just trying to plug something for Rick that he'd forgotten.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
no, he's
bad.
talking about submitting your video. I love that because you asked for people to submit videos explaining why and when you became Buccaneer fans, and it's kind of been a narrative this postseason, and it's just because there's been some great true Buccaneer fans that are so excited that the team is not only the first team to play a home Super Bowl, but back in the big game, back in Super Bowl 55 for the first time in 18 years, and so Rick's been doing that thing where he's asking people to submit videos explaining that. So yeah, thanks, JD.
Yeah, and Joshua, you can submit one because Brady came here or whatever. I don't care. Just
I didn't know it was on Rick's show. I thought it was on Peter's show. But yeah, I'll submit one.
Sounds like a winner. We're going to get back to some comments here real quick because they're starting to back up a little bit. Russell Weeks, I think everyone got tired of seeing the Patriots in every Super Bowl, it seemed like. So Brady
I
hate
didn't.
was born.
I know you did.
I'm sure you didn't.
Joshua, I didn't either. Because I'm a fan of the football.
history.
Fan of the football, of the game of football. And the fact that watching Tom Brady over the last 20 years has been one of the most exciting things for me because I know Brett Favre and I remember Warren Moon comes out of the Canadian football. Even Doug Flutie. All the times people said that players couldn't do things or underdogs or people that weren't expected of much was expected of them. and have the career that Tom Brady had. But then watch what the Patriots have done in the last 20 years. Maybe for me, it was a little easier because it was an AFC team and not an NFC team. So, and the fact that the Bucks didn't get all the way to the end line there. So it wasn't like we were losing to him every year. But I've appreciated what he's done. And then to have him come here in this year, in his 21st year, but in 2000 and 2020, and do what he's done to get the Bucks back to the Super Bowl has just been, for me, it's been over the top.
You know, he's been here, just 1 year and actually do that. I mean, that's just really a test exactly what he's.
And don't forget when we play when we play them in week when do we play we played the Chiefs in what, week 12?
12.
It was week 7.
Week 7.
That was 12.
Right around there, basically. We just played the
That
Rams
was
the
week
week
12.
Week 12. It
Was
was
it week 12?
We played the Rams the week
Yep.
before in an actual televised game. The Chiefs come in here, the defending Super Bowl champions. The Bucks really that offense still had not found their rhythm. They still hadn't actually, and Tom, you would be the first to tell you, with a shortened offseason and no preseason games for the first time in the history of the National Football League, he really basically didn't even learn the names of half his guys or know where to sit on a sideline when he came off the field in that first game against those Saints. But you're talking about a team that hadn't found their rhythm, didn't have Vita Vea, didn't have Ali Marpet. And now we're playing in this weekend, this Sunday in Super Bowl 55 with all of our, well, except for Kappa, but most of our players back. And I like our chances.
Yeah, dude, they should have a definite.
Sorry, you
chance
can
in
do your
this game.
comments again. I'm just rambling.
I'm not going to do the comments right now. Actually, what I'm going to do right now is we're going to probably go ahead and let these guys go. We're going to go ahead and finish up some of these comments, and I think we're going to call it a night. And
All right,
tomorrow night we can go ahead and catch
Do an
Peter
online
Blake
party.
on the Sports Web, and we're going to go to the professor first. Johnny, go ahead and promote yourself, buddy, before you go.
Yeah, you can find me on my page. It's what's happening in sports and entertainment, and right here at Bucks Report most of the time.
That's cool. Well, I hope you have yourself a really, really, really good night, and then we're going to go to Joshua next. Joshua.
Yeah,
yourself,
my
bro.
Twitter handle is, just living the dream right now. But you guys can follow me on Twitter at Joshua_C_Allen. I do a lot of stuff on there. The Audible will be coming back shortly. Trying to get all the semantics, pick a date, pick a time, everything like that. So look out for that. In the meantime, you can find me here on Bucks Report on a bevy of shows, whether it's Cabaret, What's Cooking in the South, Cheap Seats, obviously the Sports Web. I'll be all over the place. I'm gonna start
Josh,
picking it back.
And like me now.
I'm so much.
You sound like an orphan like me.
I just gotta get the Audible back up and running.
You're going to be
Yes, sir.
joining us on Sunday for the pregame show from the Deck Bar and Grill, right? You're
Not
going to be
this
joining.
Sunday.
No, you're going to be joining us. They're going to come on the show. We can come. You're going to be home. At least you can come on with us and maybe
Yeah,
talk to us.
I'll be on there from my studio at home. Obviously, I would
Nice.
love to be there with you guys. I was actually supposed to be working the game, but COVID had other plans, so I was supposed to be there. But what can you do?
Bless your heart, my brother. I hope you feel a lot better. You get well safe. You get well soon, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, brother?
Appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.
You
Take care,
take care of
Josh.
yourself. No, seriously, Ray. If you haven't had a chance, and
Yeah.
anybody that's out there listening,
Right.
they really need to look at the interviews. What that young man has done has just been absolutely mind-boggling.
Did I ever tell you about the first time I met Joshua in person?
No.
I'm in my pool across the street. Peter was coming over. Josh was coming over. And I'm in the pool swimming, and I'm just relaxing. The family was in North Carolina, and all of a sudden, I knew who Josh was. I'd seen his work. I knew how good he was, and all of a sudden, Josh shows up. He comes around the back. He comes right through the house and into the backyard. I told him the door was unlocked. He comes walking right in the backyard, just got a sausage in his hand. Because he had brought 3 pounds of sausage because I told him we were going to barbecue. And this Bostonian, this Massachusetts kid, and he was actually in Florida before Tom Brady came here. So this was actually an act of kismet, if you will.
Was he driving a car?
He was driving a car in a
The big
draw.
car?
He was driving a car. But seriously though, and
he
that
had
was
a
the first time I
sausage.
met Joshua. He brought sausage to the party, and that's
Sausage.
a
It's
little
sausage.
that's an inside joke with Joshua and I.
That
So I
is.
wanted to share that. So definitely glad, Joshua. Keep getting well. We'll talk to you on Sunday. Talk to you tomorrow night, and we're looking forward to getting the Audible back will be fantastic.
Yeah, make sure you get a chance to watch the interviews. It's just absolutely great. Anyway, back to
Reppin'.
the comments from Mr. Berger again. Yeah, apparently they vote in the third quarter, and it doesn't really make sense. I kind of agree with you. I think they should do it all the way through the game and make people wait. Hell, there's a half an hour post game show. Why can't they announce it then? Why do they have to do it in the third quarter?
Why does MVP have to be a regular season award? Shouldn't it be the end of the year, the person who was most valuable for their team?
That's exactly what it is. Sean Singleton, if we win, I hope our citizens don't vandalize the city like other cities. Tampa's too damn classy for that. Seriously. That's just too damn classy for that.
Well, see, here's the thing.
What do you think? We're Philadelphia?
By the way, Peter, did you take off Monday? And Harry the Greek, did you take off Monday?
No.
Well, I did because I plan on being at the Deck Bar and Grill. We're going to be out there late covering the post game anyway. And I'm thinking about Waffle House after the game on Sunday. So
The Awful House?
the Waffle House.
I like that. A little scattered, smothered, and covered. I might actually have to stay. Are you buying?
Oh, don't go there.
Oh, okay, man.
We'll see how my bets pan out.
Russell Weeks.
Ryan,
All the
look up
streets of
MVP.
Tampa Bay area is make protests look like a 4-year-old's birthday party if we win the Super Bowl. That's Florida for you. I don't think so.
I'll be
I
on the
think it's going to
beach.
be all right. Rick H., just think, in less than 72 hours, Bucks will be Super Bowl, and I can't say it because it kind of jigs them.
It's like touching the trophy.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm still wearing the same shirt for 3 weeks.
Is that what that smell is?
That's what it is. The truth. Brady's Bucks 31-28. Again, that's another over.
Yeah, I get it.
Rick H. Next year we have to go to LA for the Super Bowl.
Well, I get that.
Hey,
Love
I'm in.
Yeah, 2 in a row. Let's do it.
Russell Weeks. They said our stadium is out of date for future Super Bowls. I read an article that we're gonna build a new stadium with a retractable roof in the next few years. You know what? I don't want to see football played in the dome. I'm from
don't
Chicago.
like inside games. I know we get sunburned.
I
know
love
we're out
inside baseball games in Florida. It's too damn hot.
in the middle of July, August,
Yeah.
June.
I mean, it really is. Anyway, we got a couple more comments in here. My buddy, you can. Hope it's not a dome stadium. I agree with you. You can. Russell Weeks. We may have a new stadium right about the time Brady retires. Watch.
Another 8 years. Because of course, Bruce Arians, when asked at one of his interviews today, and I'll be short here, but he's like, yeah, I would not be surprised if Tom Brady's not looking to sign an extension.
That's what I had heard. Dustin Dockstader. Hey, Tampa Bay. The Bucks know how to shine. That's enough of that. We really suck at
Is
singing.
my singing that bad?
Russell Weeks. The article also said it won't be where Raymond James is. I don't know where they would put it there. They're out of real estate.
Unless they go to the fairgrounds, but I think the Rays have already
You know what?
discovered.
That would be an awesome place to put a stadium. Would
The
they be at
fairgrounds?
fairgrounds? Because you know what? Now you're still going to draw from Bradenton, which is the Manatee County. You can still draw. You can still draw from East Hillsboro, Pinellas, Pasco, and Hernando. And you know what? Orlando can get into the mix because it's only less than an hour drive if they go to there.
Yeah, we can get Lakeland in there too and get everyone to drive over in their pickup trucks. But
What-
here's the thing about
What you mean? I got friends.
I've got people in Lakeland are after me. Peter
I got
remembers that.
friends in Plant
But here's
City.
the irony, okay? Take this from a geography major, which I'm not a geography major, but you're talking about centralized thing. Don't even tell me about centralized because St. Petersburg is centralized to Sarasota, to Bradenton, to North Pasco, Pinellas, to the Hillsborough County, come over to the beach. We are in the perfect place for baseball. And them idiots tried to tell me how a stadium was going to work over there at what is it? What's the city over there? I keep forgetting the name of it. Ybor City. Ybor. Try getting to Ybor at 7:00 on a Monday night for a big baseball game. Try getting in there when
It's
the
not gonna
Yankees are in
happen,
town.
man. It's just not going to happen. Listen, Tampa Bay, and I'm not going to go off the rails and start talking about the Rays. It's
getting
kind
late. I
of
don't
getting
wanna-
late. But this city, shame on you. Seriously. The 3 surrounding counties, shame on you. The way you supported this team, it's been absolutely
The
ridiculous.
team
Your
that's been first place in 5 of the last 8
come
years
on.
in AFC East, but
COVID, no COVID, it doesn't make a difference. And I'm going to tell you right now,
Here,
if you don't
Peter's hurting.
support,
Peter's
if you
hurting.
don't, if you do not support this team, you're going to lose this team.
oh, it's
I
gonna.
promise you
it's
that's
gonna
going to
happen.
happen if they don't start supporting them. What else do you want besides the owners to get off their wallets and start paying some players? I get it. But if you don't go, they can't pay the players. End the conversation. They cannot pay these players unless you go to these games and support this team. So get out, get off your wallet, and go to the damn stadium and support the Tampa Bay Rays. Evan Shearer, amazing show. Thanks for all you do. Go Bucks. Thank you, Evan. We really appreciate it. That's why we come on here for great comments like that as well. Because I definitely don't work for money. How about you, Ray? Peter, you work for money?
Money?
We do it for money. What's that?
Money?
I still want my tolls. I'm
Excuse
only
me.
kidding. I'm only kidding.
Trolls or tolls?
I didn't say trolls. All righty, Johnny Dean. Here we are. They keep coming in. They don't want us to leave. I love it.
Hey, Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Russell Weeks. Pretty soon, the future. You got this.
I can't read.
I can. Pretty soon, the future, they're going to take weather out of the games with new stadiums, so cities up north can host Super Bowl. You know what? I don't want to see that happen. I mean, listen. If you've ever been to Chicago, and you've gone through downtown, and you go to Soldier Field, which, by the way, is absolutely incredible what they've done with that facility. Because what they did is they never tore the stadium down.
Oh, they did a nice job.
They tore the inside of the stadium out. They left the surrounding with the pillars for the soldiers and everything else, and then they built the stadium within it. And quite frankly, when I first went to go visit it, I was kind of like, teeter-tottering, like, I don't understand this. From the outside of it looks like this old relic, and then when you go into it, it's this new facility. And you know what's really cool about Soldier Field? There is not a spot that when you go up into the second level to go get concessions or even go to the bathroom, you will never miss a play, because the view you could see right above the stalls out into the field. There's no obstruction. There's no poles. There's no nothing. It's just absolutely incredible. So I don't want to see a dome.
What
man.
if you really, really, really love the Bears and you were in the bathroom? I'm just saying.
Never mind. Next. Russell Weeks. I honestly don't think we'll have full capacity for fans next season, given the new administration in Washington.
Ooh.
It sucks for us as fans to get robbed with Brady here. You know what? We're split on that decision. One thinks like you, and the other one doesn't.
Guys, can I just tell you? Oh,
no, we're not going there.
Sorry. I lost my headphones, but I just want to tell you guys seriously, though. We talked about this earlier, how Tampa Bay is showing up this week. We have the most beautiful, thank you, Harry. We have the most beautiful weather. It's going to be almost 73 degrees tomorrow and sunny. It's been nice all week. It's been gradually, the nor'easter that hit the rest of the entire U.S. and the eastern seaboard was here, the cool air. We had a little frozen grass this morning. But the NFL, or Tampa Bay, the city of Tampa, and all of Tampa Bay has really shown up for this Super Bowl. And you talk about looking to have a future Super Bowl here and trying to have another game here. It's not just because of the revenues that were lost because we couldn't let the entire world come here, or we couldn't have 65 or what probably increased capacity to 70,000 plus people for the game. But the fact of the matter is, the NFL, you can have it in Minneapolis. You can have it in New York at MetLife Stadium. You can have it in LA, which is going to be pretty nice because it sounds like a $5 billion park is going to have hotels. But there's never going to be another place as great. Maybe Miami, but even Miami's displaced with Little Havana, and you got to go south and Hialeah.
They don't support their fans either there.
Well, no, they don't. Not in baseball, especially. But
it's just ridiculous. And the amount of money that they spent down there. And again, we're talking about baseball. I'm so sorry.
That
but
Hard
it just
Rock is
drives
really a
me-
nice stadium,
It drives
right?
me nuts. They don't support these Florida teams.
The baseball
Why? I don't
teams.
get it. Yeah, even the baseball teams.
even the baseball teams. But I just want to say Tampa Bay's really, I want my hats off to Mayor Castor and the city of Tampa and everything you've done this week. It's been smooth sailing. Let's continue to hope for that, and everyone just remain responsible and have a great time and come in and enjoy yourselves. But the NFL could do a lot worse than to continue having Super Bowls on a 4 or 5 year rotation than to be here in Tampa Bay.
Back to the next comment. Rick H. One real Buck fan for every 100 bandwagon fans. That's probably a true statement 20 years ago. I don't believe that's the case now. I really don't, because you know what? I came down here as a young man, coming down from Chicago, and I remember going to a lot of Bucks games in the mid 80s, and there were probably 78% Chicago fans when I went to go see the Bears and the Bucks play. It's not like that anymore. It just isn't. I mean, my son was born down here, and I think the playing field has really leveled out. I just, I hate to jump on that same comment that I was saying earlier. People just need to get off their wallets and support your local sports teams, because you're gonna lose them.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Dean says, "Great show, Harry Berg. I really appreciate it, Johnny. You make it a lot easier when you're on here because your knowledge is second to none, sir." Johnny Dean, still need a line on Tyler Johnson, MVP. You know what, Johnny? Honestly, I will have that for you tomorrow. I'm going to have to dig pretty deep because I don't think he actually even has a line, but I'll find out. Johnny Dean again, Monday after the Super Bowl, post-Super Bowl syndrome holiday. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And here's Johnny's prediction, 55-21. Johnny single-handedly has the Bucks almost going over in this game, which, by the way, Ray, is 56.5.
It's going to happen.
Johnny Dean again, get it. Johnny Dean, Polk County. That's what he's saying. Now I
Polk
understand what he
County.
meant by I get it. Isn't that someplace near No Place Really? I'm only kidding. Rick H., watch your mouth about Lakeland and Polk County. Some of us are from here. LOL.
I'm kidding,
You know?
Rick.
Rick, let me tell you something. A very, very good friend of mine, he just so happens to be my boss, is from Polk County. So we just go back and forth with each other. Anyway.
I love Lakeland.
That's when I used to live up in No Place Really, which was up in Pasco County some years back. I learned that a long time ago.
Get it.
Get it. Get it, girl.
I wasn't getting girl.
Johnny Dean, Bah Humbug, baseball. Johnny Dean. Harry only reads Jersey Cajun. That's true. You're absolutely correct. Where is my buddy Brian? I don't get it. I thought you were like trolling me all the time, buddy. Just make sure you go on Peter's show tomorrow. We got something for you, bud. A little special gift. The networks have done a great job showing off the city and Bay, Johnny Dean says, and they have. And Mr. Patrick Searcy, go
Pat.
Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Hey, wait a minute, Pat. It's past your bedtime.
The Bucks.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not past his bedtime. He went bowling tonight, and he's off tomorrow.
Wait, he bowls on Thursday nights?
Yes, he does.
Is it a commercial league?
Pat's a hell of a bowler, bro. I'm serious. A really good bowler.
We got a team. You, Pat, and I. Who's the anchor?
No.
Come on.
Russell Weeks, it takes days to listen to all these interviews, 30 to 45 minutes apiece for all the players of the Bucks. KC players is like 10 to 15 minutes apiece. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and say goodnight. Ray, you got any parting words?
Just, look for us all weekend. Again, you possibly as well, but Peter and I will be over there covering the David Ortiz charity event over on Saturday night at Top Golf there in Tampa. Maybe do a pop-in from over in the stadium or over the NFL Experience if we can on Saturday, and then join us all day on Sunday. Bucks Report has you covered on Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl 55, your Bucks versus those Kansas City Chiefs.
That was really good, Ray. Anyway, have a good night. I am your temporary host. My name is Harry Berg, known as Harry the Greek, on A Cup of Ray. Hopefully we get to see you guys probably this weekend. Come out to Isla, the Deck Bar and Grill.
And we'll be going live, I think, on Sunday, game day at some point. Actually,
It's
at
2
any
o'clock.
point. 2:30.
Oh, it's going to be 2:30.
So join us 2:30, which is 4 hours before the game, for our pregame. Don't forget to miss our halftime and our postgame.
Hey, hold on. I'm not going. You know why?
Why?
Because I haven't got my dollar for the tolls yet.
But first, we have one special guest. We want to let the views get down.
No, we didn't want the views to go down.
Sorry.
But you know what?
I don't want to miss talking to this cat. It's been a
Me
while
neither.
since I spoke with him.
You know what? We're going to go ahead and have to add him to the stream because I think in 2 minutes it's going to be past his bedtime. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jacob Charnell from Hard Count Football. How you doing, sir?
What's up, guys? I'm sorry I couldn't hop on earlier. I would have. I was out doing stuff in my car, so that was that sounded bad. I was out.
It was up in my car. Hey, you didn't get arrested, so that's all
I
good.
didn't get arrested. I was getting Wendy's, honestly. If I'm being completely honest with you.
Was that her name? Hey, Jacob, I want to ask you something.
Yes.
Who do the Jets draft number 2 overall?
Well, you know,
I know who it won't be.
Harry, why do you do this to me? Here's what I'll say. Barring a Deshaun Watson trade, I am more than confident it's going to be Zach Wilson.
Wow.
Really?
Yes,
You know what I think they're going to you know what I think is going to happen? They're trading out of that spot. You're going to keep Sam Darnold. You're going to pick up an extra first-round draft pick. You're going to get a couple of second-rounders and next year's first-rounder for that.
You wouldn't want to tear on a defensive line or like maybe a linebacker
They
to
need
get below the
tackles on
middle
that.
up.
Man, they need offensive help so bad.
Well,
on
they got
that team.
Mekhi Becton over at left side, right? Is he not your left tackle for the next?
Yes. Yeah, hopefully for that. I mean, I'm hoping we kind of get it to Brickashaw Ferguson usage similar to that out of him in terms of longevity. But I've been back and forth with this, and this is going to be something I'm back and forth with through free agency. And that's why I haven't really I haven't created my mock draft yet. It's coming. The Hard Count Football mock draft 1.0 is on its way, but there's so much going on. I mean, the unprecedented quarterback movement that's going to happen this offseason is ridiculous, right? We're going to see, and we already saw this Stafford stuff go down. We're going to see possibly Kirk Cousins move, possibly Jimmy G move, possibly a Sam Darnold move, because according to Schefter, he thinks that Darnold's worth a late first rounder now, which is, I mean, teams like Washington at 19, the Colts, I think, are at 21, and the Saints are at 28. So
can I ask you a question now?
Go ahead.
So it was going to be crazy anyway, because it's just a quarterback movement. But I mean, you see with Carson, we're talking about Wentz, we're talking about Stafford, we're talking about. But what do you think? How much of this can you attribute to the Tom Brady factor? And I'm not going to get into I'm not going to compare any of these guys to Tom Brady, but the fact that Tom Brady can come to a Buccaneers team in year one, a team that was established but just needed a quarterback who could get the job done, in which the Bucs case happened to be just not turning the ball over, and get them to the big game. Do you think that plays a big factor in all the quarterback movement that we're sure to see this next offseason?
Yeah, for sure. Because they're all looking at Tampa right now and being like, because the whole thing before, right? I feel like the belief for years was that once you get your guy and you think that guy's going to take you to the Super Bowl, and it takes time. And what Tampa shows you this year is that it doesn't really take as much time as you think. And teams like the Colts, who I believe are a quarterback away from competing with the Chiefs for that AFC championship. A team like Washington, I know they need more help than just a quarterback, but I think Washington is a quarterback away from going from 7-9 to being a 9-7, 10-6 team. Right? There is a lot going on, and I think teams are looking at Tampa and this Tom Brady effect that you're talking about and saying, yeah, like, we need to get guys in here that can win now, because teams look at the Rams. They see their Super Bowl window as right now, and they were determined to get the right guy in there to act on that now. And I think, but yes, I do think a lot of that is teams are looking at Tampa and basing off that.
Well, I've told you before, Jacob, you and I have talked, and for my family, because we're from Staten Island, New York originally, it's always been, for us, it's been the Jets and the Mets, not the Yankees and the Giants. And so I'm a Jets fan. I mean, I don't go back to Joe Namath. In fact, the first year when Joe Namath makes the promise or makes the guarantee that the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl was 1969, which was the year that I was born. I know I'm dating myself. I'm old. But I just find it interesting that with all the quarterback movement that's being talked about, the 800-pound gorilla in the room seems to be the fact that these teams like the Rams and, like you said, the Washington football team, because of that defensive line and some of the things that Ron Rivera is doing there, these teams feel like, and even the Miami Dolphins, they just draft Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, something like that too.
They just drafted Tua.
Tua,
but Flores feels like he's that one player away, and so you hear even the Miami Dolphins talking about maybe being at Deshaun Watson race, and it's just crazy because I think a lot of these teams may be setting themselves up for failure. They don't have the receiving core the Buccaneers have. They may not have the defense that the Buccaneers have and be ready to go. And we've also, by the way, got probably, I think, the best coaching staff in the entire National Football League.
Yeah, and with the Deshaun Watson stuff, what I'm hearing from that right now is that he doesn't have a list really of teams he wants to go to. It's anywhere that's not Houston, which I understand, right? I mean, that's one of the most dysfunctional franchises that I've ever. That situation right now is gonna just continue to get worse, right? Because we haven't seen them. I mean, we saw they were awful last year, and I think they're just. I mean, now you're not gonna have Deshaun Watson. You're not gonna have JJ Watt next year. So those are two cornerstone pieces on your team that you're not gonna have. And without Deshaun Watson, I don't think the Texans would have won a game last year. Yeah. And I know that's a lot to say, but I'm more than confident in that.
Yeah,
and
I will tell you this: their defense will get better next year, even without JJ Watt there.
They're a team that is
Lovie Smith. He can take a lot of inferior players, especially with that Tampa 2. He can make an actual difference on a defense. And I honestly think if Deshaun Watson doesn't get traded, he's not playing this year. Period. End of the conversation. They are going to draft heavy defensively for this team because of the fact that they're not going to want to get rid of Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying he's not going to go, but they're going to build that defense there, and they will find a running back to go ahead and pound the rock and just a serviceable quarterback just to get them through the season. Wow. But that's just my opinion.
But what I can't understand is you look at, if you're the Texans and you're Jack Easterby and Cal McNair, and you're looking at this situation right now, and you're saying, how, like, you're looking at it and you're like, how can we make Deshaun happy? This situation seemed to be done. Like, we seem like we need to trade him. How can we maybe make him happy with this head coaching hire? And they hired the coordinator of the worst passing offense in the league last year.
He's gone.
It makes no sense.
Well, they literally tell him that we're gonna consult with you before we make any decisions, and then like 2 days later they hire a new general manager without let alone not consulting with him, but not even asking or telling him. I mean, it's obvious what happens is, I think, what isn't Houston they're basically on the clock for a $40 million signing bonus that they basically lose if he were to actually leave this team in a good way. So I think from Houston's standpoint, they're probably thinking, let's make it as nasty and ugly as possible so that all parties concerned agree to want to walk away. And then we start getting some contractual concessions back to the team. Otherwise, they'll find themselves, not only are they strapped because they gave their first round pick away for Laramie Tunsil in the second round, I believe, Jacob, but
they also received some draft picks now. You know, they've also got some draft picks. They have a lot of draft capital. And if they, you know what, it could be a smokescreen too. The other telling everybody they don't want him to leave. Well, of course you don't want him to leave. He's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Right.
They're also playing their cards correctly with this, because trust me, if he goes somewhere, they're pushing for 4 first-rounders. They're not going to get. They're not going to give 4 first-rounders. They're just not going to do it. Okay, Matthew Stafford set the bar. But they're not going to get 4 first-rounders from him.
I think the Stafford thing was a little bit different, only because and I tweeted this because I think with Stafford, it wasn't like they saw what the value for Stafford was, and it was more that the Rams were determined to get him in there versus what his value actually was, right? So that's why they threw in that extra first-rounder, and plus on top of that, it was the Lions taking Jared Goff's contract also. So it wasn't just for Stafford; it was to get rid of Jared Goff. But Deshaun Watson, the 4 first-rounders it's too much. I don't like that offer. This was what I wanted to ask you guys. Realistically, like, I think that Deshaun could only go. The most I'll give up for Deshaun is if I'm the Jets, I'll give up 3 first-rounders and I'll give up a 3rd-rounder. And I'll give up maybe a young. Apparently they want a young defensive player. You give up a guy like John Franklin Myers.
Listen, the word out of Chicago is they want 3 number ones and 2 defensive starters.
Yeah.
And apparently the word around Chicago is they were going to give them their first-round draft picks this year and the next 2 consecutive years. The people that were on the table was Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson. That is way too much.
That is a lot. That's a lot for Deshaun.
That's way too much. But they were really committed to it. This is what's going to end up happening, because there was a little bit of traction, in my opinion, and from what I understand, that Deshaun Watson was going to go to Chicago. But they're not being realistic. 1. 2, I don't think that either one of the 2 quarterbacks are leaving Chicago. And if it does, it's going to end up being
Josh Rosen.
No, it's going to be Mitchell Trubisky, Josh Rosen. But Mitch Trubisky's he probably played his last game in Chicago, unfortunately. If they don't get a Derek Carr, it's going to end up being Nick Foles next year. I mean, it's just
no matter you guys. So let's agree to disagree here, because it's getting late, Jacob. And thanks for joining us. But can we all agree that when you talk about Trubisky and you talk about Deshaun and you talk about these quarterbacks and you talk about what's already happened, right, with the Rams and the Lions, probably without a doubt, one of the most unprecedented offseason for quarterback movement in the history of the National Football League.
It absolutely.
It's going to be the most ever.
No, it is. And you've already started it. I mean, you just seen 2 first overall draft picks traded. It's never happened before. First overall draft picks.
Yeah, and Stan Kroenke, he gets on board and lets Sean McVay, and I'm glad you mentioned this, Jacob. You were alluding to it. The fact that Stafford and McVay and their wives were literally at the dinner table in Mexico.
They were hanging out. They were hanging out. Oh my God.
It's done. And there's been some rumors now. I'm just going to throw it out there. I can't substantiate this. I don't know the proof of this, but there were some rumors that Jared Goff leaves the Rams because of some things he was saying about McVay's wife.
It wasn't what he
or
was
alluding
saying
to
about his wife. It was what he was doing with his wife.
Ooh, now this show just went south.
This show took a turn.
Wife and McVay threw a fit. Again, we have nothing to substantiate this, but this is what, when my ear was down on the ground, That's what I had heard.
And I get it. Matt Stafford, the guy hung in Detroit there.
Now
I mean,
we're
he
talking
hung
about
in.
hanging. Will you mind? It's a kid on the show.
Sorry, Jacob. But but Stafford's a great quarterback. But you're talking about the Rams, even though they got rid of the contract, they got rid of Jared Goff, but the things they gave up to just get rid of that contract and bring Sean and Stafford out there, the Rams and Aaron Donald, maybe he's still one of the most, if not the most dominating,
God, he's a
defensive
stud.
players in the National Football League. But I don't feel like, do you feel like, and the Rams made it to the playoffs this year, but I think 4 other NFC teams that are going to be right. I can think of 2 in their own division the Rams are going to have to compete with. And they basically sold their soul for the future for this draft just to get rid of Jared Goff.
And here's what I'll say to that too. This is what I've been saying all offseason, the entire season with the Niners. You look in that division, Russell Wilson is dominant mostly all the time, right? And he's always healthy and he doesn't miss games, right? You look over in Los Angeles.
Football player, right?
Russell Wilson.
I mean, Jacob Charno would have the Jets trade their entire.
Oh my God, the things I would do to get Russell Wilson on the Jets.
No, I'm serious, man.
Wait, I thought you said he's a young guy. What's he talking about here?
Trust me, he is enamored with Russell Wilson. Jacob, we have got to go tonight. We got to.
Yes.
I felt so bad when you were sitting in the lobby and we were already playing the exit interview and everything else, and I was like, man, what do we do? And we just hit the button, and all of a sudden, bam!
But Jacob, do me a favor, agree to have continue this conversation with me here in the next week or two, because I want to hear your thoughts on the NFC West.
Absolutely.
And because I'm thinking that I like McVay. I think he's an offensive genius, but I think this could blow up in his face almost as much as it could possibly be a good thing for those Rams. So let's definitely agree to revisit this conversation.
110%.
Little brother.
Yes.
Sunday, 2:30 to 6. You pick your time. Make sure you call into the sports web.
110%. I will.
We'd love to see you on there.
Yes.
Anyway, Jacob, I'm going to go ahead and make you full screen. Go ahead and promote yourself.
All right, for sure. Check out the Hard Count Football Podcast on YouTube and SoundCloud, and then check out the Hard Count Football Podcast live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel and right here on Bucks Report. Follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charno, Instagram at Hard Count Football. And then for my live show, guys, Ray, Harry, I'd love to have both of you on if that's possible, whenever. This Tuesday, we're going to have the Super Bowl aftermath, which is going to be, I mean, we'll see how that goes. It's either going to be a fun show or 95 people watching it saying that the Bucks need to get rid of Tom Brady because
shut your mouth.
Yeah, because people like complaining about things. People like
we have a young nucleus of a team, and TB's still here, and he's going to sign an extension.
Yeah.
Hey, Jacob, good talking to you, brother.
Jacob,
nice talking to you guys.
You have a really good one. Go Bucks. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Have a good
sure,
night.
man.
Thanks.
You too.
Take care. So,
any final thoughts again?
No, I'm good. Just take us out of here.
Oh,
everybody have a great evening. Join us on Sunday.
Deuces, everybody.
Super Bowl 55.